Southern Mississippi, where we're at M.M. Roberts Stadium, better known as The Rock. I'm Jason Baker. Jeff Posey joining you for this 2018 kickoff of the college football season. Jeff, we've got two interstate foes. The Jackson State University Tigers have traveled 89 miles down Highway 49 to take on the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And for both ball clubs, a lot of the unknown, especially at the quarterback position. For the Jackson State Tigers, it was announced earlier today that sophomore Derek Ponder will get the start, beating out Jared Hayes in fall camp. For Ponder, he's a young man with high expectations. He comes from a junior college system that they feel he's going to fit in well to Hal Mummy's air raid system.
Yes, with Mummy's air raid system, he has to be able to throw the ball. We do know that. So it's going to be something to see how accurate this kid is.
Absolutely. And on the other side, it was Jack Abraham who won the quarterback position for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Suspended indefinitely has been Quadre Griggs, the starter from a year ago. For Jack Abraham, a young man who lit it up at the high school ranks and as well in the junior college system, playing his football at Northwest Mississippi Community College. For Jack, they know he's accurate. Here at Hattiesburg, they're excited to see what he can do.
Yes, they're very excited about this kid here. He's coming from Northwest, having some great success. And also, you know, he's got to be hungry. You know, coming from junior college, I know I played at a junior college. Coming here at Southern Miss myself, I was very hungry. So I'm excited to see this kid play.
Absolutely. Jack Abraham, the starting quarterback for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. We'll be back with the kickoff from The Rock. You're watching Conference USA Football on ESPN. And welcome back, everybody, to M.M. Roberts Stadium, The Rock. Jason Baker, Jeff Posey joining you for the kickoff of the 2018 college football season between Southern Miss and Jackson State. And for Jeff, third year for head coach Jay Hobson in his ball club, along with the third year for Tony Hughes, a familiar face here in Hattiesburg, a guy who actually graduated from here to Tony Hughes. He's in his third season, but still a lot of unknown amongst these two teams. They're going to have to figure each other out. It looks like Southern Miss is going to receive this kick to start. So we're going to see the offensive unit of Jack Abraham and the Golden Eagles to start this football game.
Yes, we're going to get to see him early, you know. And we talked earlier about how accurate this kid is. But one thing I'm thinking about, you know, these two teams been beating up on each other for themselves during the summer and spring. Now you get a chance to come out here and play the game against another opponent.
Absolutely.
So it's a great time to play some college football.
Absolutely, and we are ready for the football. Going to be kicking it off, going to be Adrian Salazar for the Jackson State Tigers. Back deep, Jalen Adams, number 2 and 16. Quez Watkins will be back deep for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. We're crammed into The Rock, two interstate foes. They haven't played each other in 5,845 days since August the 31st, 2002. That one was dubbed the Rumble at The Rock, and it went to the credit of Southern Miss, who won 55-7 here on a beautiful afternoon for college football at The Rock. Today, a little rain earlier in the afternoon. That has since gotten out of here, and the weather has since stopped. And so we are set and ready for action. Southern Miss in their black pants, black tops with the gold numerals. Jackson State in their blue pants, white uniforms with the blue numerals. Jason Baker, Jeff Posey. Jeff, I'm excited, looking forward to this opportunity as we await the football to be teed up off the foot of Adrian Salazar. Looking forward to working with you throughout this season.
Well, thank you, Jason. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time, so take it easy on me. But, hey, I'm excited to do something like this. It's been something like a dream for me, so I'm actually getting an opportunity to do it. And, you know, we talked about the offense earlier. You know, we like to both throw the ball, but with the weather the way the weather came in earlier, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Great point, Jeff, with the weather. And so we are set and ready. Kickoff return unit for the ball club is out there for Southern Miss. For Jackson State, their defensive unit will take the field first. They're led by defensive coordinator John Hendrick, Dwayne Curry for the defensive line. And we're actually told the delay is there is no game ball down on the field. We're waiting on the actual football that is to be played. That is our hold-up here this afternoon. So a wonderful crowd. That was to be expected between these two schools. High expectations for both clubs. Jackson State actually finished 2017 winning 3 of their last 4 after starting 0-7 on the 2017 season. So I think Tony Hughes' ball club comes in with some expectations of growing and competing more within the SWAC conference, the Southwestern Athletic Conference that they play their football in. And for Jay Hobson's club, they're a mix of veterans and young guys. I think there's some expectations in Hattiesburg that this crew and this club has the opportunity and certainly the ability to compete for a Conference USA title. So again, it's number 2, Jalen Adams back deep, along with Quez Watkins. Those two guys are both starting wide receivers for this offensive unit. And we are ready now. Game ball delivered. Salazar has it teed up on the near hash. A great crowd on hand here on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi. And we are underway. Kind of a wobbly line drive kick. Going to bounce up into the hands of Adams. Adams going to the right. Got a great block out across the 35 and tackled down
a great
at the
return
38-yard line.
A great return right away.
Absolutely. Adams, a guy they're going to expect a lot out of. A sophomore, a letter winner of a year ago out of Adamsville, Alabama. Well, it'll be Jack Abraham to start for Southern Miss, his offensive unit. Abraham, a talent. Boy, he was a 6-foot, 204-pound redshirt sophomore out of Oxford, Mississippi. Threw for over 12,021 yards in high school. And catch this, he threw for 130 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. So Abraham starts in a 3-wide set. Jack going to leave it in the belly of Tez Parks. And Parks trying to get off the left side, cannot. And a nice tackle made by number 40. That's the freshman Keontre Hampton out of West Point, Mississippi with the stop.
You see right away, Jackson State is swarming to the football.
They're a unit that prided themselves a year ago, especially up front. They had an excellent defense, only allowed 170 yards of rushing per game a year ago. So Abraham puts Parks to his right. Actually, they swap. Excuse me. This is Parks on a direct snap, straight up the gun, and here he goes out across the 50, inside the 40, and he'll be marked down at the 39-yard line. Making the stop was the nickelback, Elvia Payton, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, Landry Walker High School with a stop. So quickly to the line go the Golden Eagles. This is Abraham in the gun. He's going to bring Adams in motion and underneath pressure everywhere.
Yep.
Boy,
pressure. They brought pressure off the edges, off both edges.
Yeah, making the tackle again was Payton, the nickelback. He's going to get credit for the sack on Abraham. A 6'1", 190 sophomore out of Landry Walker High School for the Jackson State Tigers and Tony Hughes Club. That's going to back us up now to a 2nd down and 14. So Abraham in the gun. He'll take the snap, quickly turn, throw it. This is a swing pass out to Adams. Adams going to make a stop, slip a tackle, and be brought down at the original line of scrimmage at the 39-yard line, where he's going to give the Golden Eagles a 3rd down and 10 opportunity. It'll be the first 3rd down conversion opportunity of the year for Southern Miss. They converted 38% a year ago, back in 2017.
We might get a chance to see some of this passing right now, being 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, they have popped into a 4-wide set in motion. This is 87, and we've got a penalty flag. Got him across the neutral zone. He's going to throw a pass up as Abraham to Watkins that is defended well by the corner, C.J. Holmes for Jackson State, but a free play for Southern Miss. Our head referee tonight is Joe Leering. Joe going to give us the call, so a wise play by Abraham to take the shot. Went with a long snap count. That moves it from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5, and that's a big play by Abraham, Jeff.
That's a smart play by him, too. He knew he had a free shot, so he just threw it toward the end zone.
So Abraham will send 3 wide receivers to the top of the formation, far side of the field. He'll look to offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson for the call. They'll stay with the play. Abraham takes it, going to swing it out. This is Adams. Adams looking for a block. He's got one, a stiff arm, and he's going to be very close to the 1st down, I believe, depending on the spot. Adams should have moved the sticks, and they indicate he has. So a nice pickup of 6 yards by Adams to move the sticks.
Yeah, a physical run after the catch.
Adams a year ago played in 11 games, had 8 receptions for 219 yards. He'll have more than 8 this year. That's a guarantee.
He also had some great blocking out there with him, too.
That was a blocking of Quez Watkins. Here's Abraham throwing it to Quez Watkins here. Watkins is loose. Inside the 10, the 5. Yes, sir. Touchdown, Southern Miss. Quez Watkins with the score. His third touchdown reception of his career. And Southern Miss leads it early, 6-0.
And there we have it. The accurate pass right there on the slant.
Absolutely, and a wonderful run after the catch by Watkins. And Southern Miss leads it here with 12:16 to play in the opening quarter. 6-0. And then let's talk about this young man, Parker Schonfield, a 2018 Conference USA preseason player of the year in the special teams department. A wonderful talent at the kicker position. Carter Hankins to hold, and the kick is up and through. First PAT of the year for Southern Miss. They lead it 6-0 here with 12:16 to play. Opening quarter. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN.
Another score by your Golden Eagles for LTD. More places. C-Spire, customer inspired.
We're actually going to keep it here. So a wonderful job there by Watkins, Jeff, as he took that slant. Just a beautiful throw by Jack Abraham to Watkins. But more impressive was Watkins' run after the catch to get it in the end zone.
Yes. After catching the ball, able to get into the end zone, making one guy miss. Absolutely great job.
So now we'll see the offensive unit for the Jackson State Tigers. It was announced earlier today that Derek Ponder will be the starting quarterback for the Jackson State Tigers. Ponder, a sophomore out of Bells, Texas, Navarro College transferee, played his high school football for his father. So teeing it up for Southern Miss, this is Briggs Bourgeois, who puts a foot into it, back deep to receive. This is Terrell Kennedy III, who's going to hit a knee for Jackson State. And some extracurricular activity on the far side. These are two teams, they don't play often, but you knew the hostility would be there. Interstate schools, you're going to have kids that, Jeff, that have played each other in high school that are seeing each other again for the first time, and that emotion kind of showing itself here on the first Saturday of college football.
You're exactly right, Jason. They're showing their emotions right now. And like you said, you got kids from neighboring high schools perhaps played together, and that's what you see. So we're going to see a very physical game today.
So here we go. Tim Billings, defensive coordinator, his nasty bunch for this year for the Golden Eagles, out on the field for the first time. Ponder in the gun. He'll put his two running backs, Jordan Johnson and Keyshawn Harper, left and right of him. Ponder calls for it. Going to leave it in the belly here of, I believe that's 17. Yeah, for Jackson State, that's going to be Jordan Johnson, the running back, the junior out of Terry, Mississippi, with a carry for just 2 yards. Set up a 2nd down, 8 for Jackson State.
Yes, and we just saw Southern Miss how they're swarming to the ball also.
So Ponder in the gun, Johnson to his left, 4 wide set for the Jackson State Tigers. Ponder will take it, swing it out. This is going to be caught. This is by his receiver, Terrell Kennedy III. He's going to go backwards, actually, for a loss on the play. A wonderful job on the stop by DQ Thomas, the sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, for Southern Miss. That sets up the first 3rd down of the year for Jackson State. And listen to this crowd at the Rock. Ponder in the gun again, brings a man in motion. That's Rameek Wallace. He's looking to go over here to this near side. That is going to be caught, but short of the first down by a yard. That reception is Carl Ollie, the sophomore out of Jackson, Mississippi, a Forest Hill High School product. Sets up a 4th and 1 and a decision for Tony Hughes, but I don't believe he has any option but to punt it away, and he's going to send his punter, Christian Jacquemin, on, the senior out of Miami, Florida, to punt it away for the Jackson State Tigers. And we've got a stoppage of play on the field.
You have to know that Southern Miss has to be happy with that 3 and out.
Absolutely. After giving up a 2-yard rush on first down, a big play by DQ Thomas on 2nd down to lose those 2 yards that they had gained on the previous down. And it looks like our head official, Joe Learing, is calling for a replay. So they're going to take a look
They might make a measurement on this. They may respot the ball.
So we'll see what the momentary stoppage is. I thought he was calling for the replay, and he's speaking with his umpire. Yep, so they're going to say they checked in with a replay booth, and the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is short of the first down, so it's 4th and 1. And back deep, speaking of the young man who's put it on the board already, this is Quez Watkins, who will stand at his 20 for Southern Miss. Jockerman set to punt it away, averaged 41.8 yards a punt a year ago for Jackson State. Good snap back to Jockerman and nearly blocked, kind of an end-over-end kick. Watkins is going to let it bounce. I believe he touched it. He's going to take it on the run, going to try to turn the corner, and he is going down at the 1-yard line, 2-yard line rather, is where they're going to mark Watkins down at. Boy, a mistake for Southern Miss as Watkins kind of misplayed the hop, then he had to recover, and a wonderful job of coverage for Jackson State. That was C.J. Holmes, the cornerback, with the tackle. 10-13 to play in the opening quarter. 7-0 Southern Miss, but it'll take 98 yards, Jeff, for Jack Abraham's club to be able to put points on the board now for Southern Miss.
Yes, he's working out his own end zone, so it's going to be something to see right now, to see how he's going to handle this.
All right, 10-13 to play. Southern Miss leads at 7-0. You're watching Conference USA Football on ESPN. So a 6-play, 57-yard drive for Southern Miss to open this football game. Jeff, on the 28-yard touchdown pass to Quez Watkins, has Southern Miss on top 7-0. But a special teams miscue just a moment ago. Quez kind of made a mistake of fumbling around on the return and had to retreat back all the way to the 2-yard line, is where he was tackled down by the Jackson State punt coverage team. A tall task here for Jack Abraham. We'll see how he does with his back in the end zone.
Yes.
So Abraham in the gun. He's got 2 wide receivers to his right. Abraham calls for the snap. He's going to leave it in the belly. This is Parks, who's fighting his way forward. And a nice tackle made by 26, Quidarion Barnett, the junior out of Macon, Mississippi. The backup middle linebacker in there for Jackson State. So 9:50 to play, opening quarter. You're looking live at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. M.M. Roberts Stadium, better known as The Rock. Jack Abraham, the sophomore out of Oxford, Mississippi, a Northwest Mississippi Community College transferee. Abraham takes the snap, looking to his right, under pressure, he'll throw. This is Watkins who's got it for a first down, and that will get him out of the shadows of the end zone in a wonderful play by Abraham.
Wonderful play. He saw his receiver out here in the boundary, connected with him. Now we have a first down, giving him a lot of room to work with.
Abraham, a young man that a couple of weeks ago, when the opportunity became available, he has really grasped his starting role and ran with it for his offense. Parks now in at quarterback. They've done this twice already. They're going to have a direct snap to Tez Parks, who's a returning letter winner of this team, a returning starter from a year ago. The tackle was made by Malik Hamner, the senior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to stop the defensive end. He had 32 tackles a year ago for Tony Hughes' ball club.
Second down and 8.
So second down and 8. Abraham in the gun. Play action pass. He's going to throw it out wide open. This is Jalen Adams. Got some room, and he'll get up near the first down marker, depending on the spot. And I believe they're going to say Jalen has the first down, and a long throw, but a good throw by Jack Abraham.
Yes, they blitzed Abraham off the edge over there, and he made a great throw. Threw it to his hot receiver.
First down.
So Abraham working. This will be a 98-yard drive if he puts points on the board here. 1st and 10 for Southern Miss. Abraham will look to his offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson. Interesting tidbit for Shannon Dawson. He is kind of a Hal Mumme disciple, if you will. His first job was underneath Hal Mumme at Southeastern Louisiana. Here's a pass dropped over the middle, in and out of the hands of for Southern Miss. That was Tim Jones, who could not hang on for Southern Miss, the sophomore out of Biloxi, with the drop. If he makes the catch, he may score.
Yeah, great throw by Abraham. I bet Jones wish he could have that one back.
Absolutely. Coverage there was Tanae Alex, the returning starter from Southern Lab High School out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. First look at T-Rod Daniels in at running back directly behind Abraham in the pistol formation. And here goes T-Rod looking for some room, cannot find it. This is a defensive unit last year that was a very good against the rush. 170 yards given up per game defensively. Matter of fact, they were 39th in total defense in all of FCS a year ago. It was the defense for Jackson State that kept them in a lot of ball games early, even amongst that 0-7 start. And it was the defense that they felt like they hung their hats on late in 2017 as they won 3 out of 4 ball games. John Hendrick works a 3-3-5 stack defense is what they call it on paper, I guess, if you will. And Hendrick said this defensive unit really kind of came into their own late. Here's a pass that is going to be caught. That's Quez Watkins with a leaping gas.
That was an excellent catch by him between 2 defenders.
Watkins having a start for the 2018 year. He's the young man with the 28-yard reception. And look at this reception. Nice throw by Abraham, but Watkins a better catch. Boy, how'd he hang on to that to move the sticks for Southern Miss. Abraham calls for the ball. Looking in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. That's big 99. Leroy Roddy, the junior out of Pride, Louisiana, with the sack. His first sack of the year, his first sack of his career here at Jackson State.
One thing Jackson State is doing, they up front linemen, they're playing very disciplined right now. They stand in their lanes, and they're playing very disciplined.
They were one of the least penalized teams in all of FCS a year ago. Not going to beat themselves. Abraham in the gun for Southern Miss, swings it out. This is the T-Rod Daniels. T-Rod with some room out across the 40 and finally knocked out of bounds. That was number 11, Tyler Rogers, the junior out of Starkville, Mississippi, with the stop. Going to be a 3rd and 1 for Southern Miss and Jack Abraham's offensive unit here.
Yeah, Peyton lost his leverage on that play then. He lost his outside leverage. That's why Daniels was able to get outside out there.
So Southern Miss trying to move the sticks for the third down conversion of this drive so far. Abraham bringing Jalen Adams in motion here. He'll fake it to Adams, hand it off to T-Rod Daniels. Daniels fighting, still on his feet across the 50, inside the 45, and tackled down at the 44-yard line. And this is going to be a running back by committee this year for Southern Miss. They really like what they have back there. A lot of guys that can play a lot of good football.
Yes. And they're running the ball very physical right now. Physical.
So Abraham in. He'll leave it in the belly here of T-Rod Daniels again. T-Rod just going to have to fight to gain a yard here. Nice tackle made by number 95, Lontre Jones, the senior out of Carthage, Mississippi, Lee Central High School.
Lontre Jones
with the stop. And Abraham calls for the snap, looking to throw. He will. This is Watkins again, wide open. Inside the 35, he's going to be knocked off his feet here by number 3, C.J. Holmes. And boy, Watkins just with all kinds of room. And Abraham looking sharp early, Jeff.
He is. One thing Watkins is able to do, he's separating himself from the defender.
Watkins is hot. Abraham is hot. Watkins is hot as well. But Abraham 7 of 8 passing for 79 yards and a touchdown so far in his debut. Abraham will take a high snap. He's going to leave it. This is Parks. Parks trying to go outside, and he's going to get across the 30. Not a lot of room for Tez. Just kind of made the most out of it for about a 4-yard gain. Setting up a 2nd and 6 for Southern Miss. This drive started all the way back at the 2-yard line after a miscue by Quez Watkins. That's been Quez's only mistake of this ball game. And here you see Parks just kind of looking for some room. Boy, he got a great block out there by number 23. That was Colin Kilcrease, the tight end. Gave him a wonderful block to finally give him some room to pick up the 4 yards. So a couple of substitutions as Tim Jones comes in at the slot here. Jordan Mitchell in motion. And Abraham calls for the snap. He's going to swing it out. This is Mitchell. Mitchell inside the 30 down to about the 25-yard line, just shy of the 25. It's going to be another 3rd down opportunity. Southern Miss only converted at a 38% clip a year ago. They'd like to see that come up for Jay Hobson's crew. And so far, so good early in this one.
Yeah, so far, so good. And with this long drive, Jackson State has to be getting tired. Their lineman has to be getting tired.
So Jack Abraham here going to look to the sideline, wants to check with offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson. We talked offensive coordinator Hal Mumme, who's known throughout college football as an air raid guy, and a timeout call. This is going to be called by Southern Miss. Jay Hobson wants to talk about it as they were sorting through the offensive plays. 3:34 to play here in the opening quarter. 7-0 Southern Miss, and we'll keep it here, Jeff. Jason Baker, Jeff Posey with you on the call, and this drive, what a beauty here, starting back at the 2-yard line as they come out here. So Southern Miss leading 7-0, and we'll be back with more Conference USA football on ESPN. And we're back at M.M. Roberts Stadium. 15th play of the drive coming here for Southern Miss. They're looking for their fourth third down conversion here on 3rd down and 2 to go. And a handoff here into the belly of Parks. He'll have the first down to the 27-yard line. Just a wonderful job on that right side of the offensive line. That's where the two veterans are. Drake Dorbeck, the redshirt junior, number 79, the right tackle, as well as the right guard, number 76, Ty Pollard, the redshirt junior, a hometown kid out of Oak Grove High School, played his football at Hattiesburg High, as well as his father coached here. He's a coach's son. Latrell Pollard was a former coach on staff with Jay Hobson. That right side of the offensive line really gave a wonderful hole for Parks to go through.
Pollard also played here. I played with him.
Absolutely, and here is Quez Watkins. Who got it? How about Quez with another touchdown reception, his second of the ball game. A 27-yard touchdown pass from Jack Abraham to Quez Watkins. That'll be a Sports Center top 10 play nominee right there with the touchdown reception by Quez Watkins.
You're exactly right. Abraham is finding Watkins all the time. That is absolutely awesome.
So now a wrinkle from Southern Miss. Freshman center Trace Clopton has stayed on. And it is Carter Hankins who is underneath. And now they'll move. That's Colin Mills. Now will be the deep snapper for Southern Miss. So just showing the swinging gate formation, just a wrinkle to put on film. And the special teams player of the preseason player of the year, Parker Schonfield, on for his second extra point. This guy made 89 in a row, and he'll make another here. So 3 minutes exactly left on the first quarter clock. A pair of Quez Watkins touchdown receptions have the Golden Eagles on top, 14-0. We'll be back from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. So after a pair of Quez Watkins touchdown passes, one of 28 yards to open the game, and then the acrobatic catch there of 27 yards, the Golden Eagles lead it 14-0 over Jackson State. Jeff, if you're Jackson State, if you want to stay in this ball game, this is the drive that you must hear. You must get some of this momentum away from Southern Miss if you're Jackson State.
You're right. Jackson State need to put together a successful drive here, at least flipping the field position.
Briggs Bourgeois to boot it away. This is going to be Terrell Kennedy to third with the return, and he is going to be knocked off his feet at the 17-yard line. Tackle made by number 41. That's Rakeem Booth on the kickoff coverage for Southern Miss. Booth, a native out of Bassfield, Mississippi, Jeff's hometown, and that's a football factory out of Bassfield, Mississippi, Jeff.
Yes. Bassfield produced a lot of great athletes, and here at Southern Miss, we have quite a few on the team, and had some on the past that even venture off into the NFL. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely. So Rakeem Booth with that tackle, and it'll be Derek Ponder bringing his offensive unit back out for Jackson State. So Ponder in the gun. He's got two backs to his left and to his right. Ponder will take it, going to leave it in the belly. This is of Jordan Johnson, the junior out of Terry, Mississippi. And Johnson knocked off his feet quickly for Southern Miss. That was
going to be able to put together a long drive. We want to see if Ponder also will be able to put together a long drive.
Absolutely. A drive that's going to start here at the 17, out to the 22-yard line, a pickup of exactly 5 on that rush by Jordan Johnson. And Jay Hobson doesn't like what he sees and wants to call quickly a timeout for Southern Miss. 2:27 to play. Opening quarter, it's been all Southern Miss, led by the quarterback Jack Abraham, who is having one heck of a start to his Golden Eagle career. How about 10 of 11 for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns so far? And also as well, give credit to that Nasty Bunch defense as well on the opening series. They gave up a little yardage, but they certainly forced the punt early.
You're exactly right. And Coach Hobson has to be pleased with his quarterback right now. You know, like you said, he's 10 for 11.
Absolutely. Yeah, Abraham couldn't have scripted a better start to his Golden Eagle career. This Nasty Bunch defense this year for Southern Miss, there's a lot of new faces, but the man who just made that stop on the opening play, Picasso Nelson's not one of them. Welcome back, Mr. Nelson, to this Golden Eagle defense. He sat out a year ago due to an injury that occurred in the preseason. He's actually a gray shirt as he has already graduated from Southern Miss. He was also named Best Male Citizen back in 2017 here for Southern Miss. Swing pass out to Terrell Kennedy, boy, and he is stopped immediately in his tracks. That's the junior college kid, the new signee, Ty Williams, making the stop for the Golden Eagles out of East Mississippi Community College. You might have seen him on Last Chance U, the documented series of that junior college, and they have a lot of high hopes for that young man. Kind of made a stop like one of your former teammates, like old Patrick Surtain back in the day, Jeff.
Great play by that young man. And once again, we want to say how the defense is just swarming to the ball. Very physical.
Reminds you of that Nasty Bunch of old. That's what we want to see. Darian Yancey said it earlier this week. They're going to represent the Nasty Bunch well. 3rd and long for Jackson State here. Southern Miss trying to get him off the field, and they will. Down he goes. What a sack. That was 55 to Mario Smith, the junior out of Canton High School. The 3 technique of this offense came through the offensive line. And boy, what a beautiful play by DeMario Smith here, Jeff.
Yes, there he throws the rip and get underneath the offensive lineman and comes around and make the sack.
Absolutely. Alan Fales Jr. was right there to try to get some credit, but that was all DeMario Smith with the sack, and that'll bring the punting unit back on. And how about the start for Jay Hobson's ball club for Southern Miss? They were 8-5 a year ago, looking to build upon that and compete for a Conference USA title. Here's Jacquemin with an end-over-end kick, going to take a bounce. Quez Watkins going to field it here, got a couple of blocks and got some room. He's got the corner across the 40 at the 35. It's going to be Jacquemin who has to punch him out at the 32-yard line, but a great return for Quez Watkins sets up Jack Abraham and his offensive unit with a short field here, Jeff.
Yeah, Watkins has gotten off to a great start with catching the ball, scoring twice, and also now returning that punt.
Watkins a year ago, he redshirted back in 2016. He played in all 13 ball games as a redshirted freshman, had 23 receptions for 337 yards. He had a pair of touchdowns a year ago. He's matched that total already here tonight. Watkins down here on the near sideline. Abraham in the shotgun to Michael Harris in motion. He'll leave it in the belly of Harris here, who is going to be tackled for no gain. The stop made by number 26 for Jackson State. That was Quadarion Barnett who made the stop for the Tigers, the backup middle linebacker. We've said his name a few times. He's made a few stops early here. And 2nd down and 10 is what will face Southern Miss. 2 interstate foes, 2 coaches in their 3rd seasons respectively. Tony Hughes for Jackson State. He's actually an alumni of this wonderful University of Southern Miss. Also played here. Coached in Hattiesburg as well. And the first quarter of the 2018 season is in the books, and it's been all Southern Miss. They lead Jackson State 14-0. You're watching Conference USA football here at M.M. Roberts Stadium. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. 2nd down and 10. Abraham leaves it in the belly of Tez Sparks for a pickup here of 4 yards. Will set up now a 3rd down and 7 facing Southern Miss. This has been their shortest field of the night so far. They being Southern Miss, could not have scripted a better start. 150 yards of total offense in the first quarter. It's been all Southern Miss so far, Jeff.
Yes, it's been all Southern Miss so far, so Coach Hopkins has to be excited about his offense right now and defense with those stops, in the first beginning of the quarter, 3 and out.
Absolutely. Jack Abraham, we announced earlier, he threw for over 12,000 yards in high school, over 130 touchdowns. And here's a pass high over the middle intended for Jalen Adams. Coverage by Ryan Thayard.
A great pocket for Abraham on that one.
And that's going to be
some time.
It's going to be our first field goal attempt of the year for Parker Schonfield, who is 17 of 20 in his career with a long of 51. This is going to be a 46-yard attempt for Schonfield. The Conference USA Special Teams Preseason Player of the Year nominee. Great snap, good hold by Hankins, and the kick off the foot of Schonfield is right down the middle. What a kick. 46-yard field goal pushes the score to 17-0 here with 14:07 to play in the second quarter. We'll be back with more action from M.M. Roberts Stadium here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You're watching Conference USA Football on ESPN. 17-0. Southern Miss leads it off the 46-yard field goal from the Lou Groza nominee, Parker Schonfield, for Southern Miss. And what a start for Southern Miss, Jeff. They've had a wonderful job on offense as Jack Abraham has kind of answered the questions with his start, a couple of touchdown passes, and then the 46-yard field goal as well to make it 17-0. But how about this nasty bunch defense kind of earning that moniker, if you will, only allowing 9 yards of total offense to Jackson State in the opening quarter. That's reminiscent to your playing days back here, back in 95, 96, as you were a member of the first team to win a Conference USA championship here at Southern Miss.
Yes, and they're doing a great job. This nasty bunch right here, like you said, only giving up 9 yards. And I'll tell you, if Jackson State doesn't get anything going, these guys are going to pin their ears back and come after them.
So Ty Williams will have to hold the ball on the tee for Briggs Bourgeois. It'll be Kennedy who will catch the kickoff here and take a knee. This is part of that new rule. They'll bring the touchback out to the 25. There's a new rule this year that in the field of play inside the 25-yard line, if you call for a fair catch, you will be brought out to the 25-yard line on a kickoff. So that's a new rule as a part of college football to make the game safer on these kickoff returns. So for Derek Ponder, he's the young man who got the starting nod for Tony Hughes' ball club in Jackson State. Jackson State 3-8 a year ago, but they were 3-4 in the SWAC, won 3 of their last 4 ball games. Here's a handoff to the new running back in for Jackson State. That's 20, Keyshawn Harper, the sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama. He had 9 carries a year ago for the Tigers. 5-yard pickup, and it's second down and 5. Here's Harper again, and he'll make a nice move, and the ball is loose. It's going to be picked up and recovered by Southern Miss, or rather Jackson State, excuse me. As
Big
recovering
hit on
that was
right there, getting the ball out.
That was Donnell Pastor, the senior out of Augusta, Georgia. A big hit applied to cause that fumble for Southern Miss.
Ruff came up and delivered a good hit.
That's the 6-year guy. That's Sherrod Ruff, the gray shirt for the Southern Miss defense. That's Ruff again. Boy, look at this tackle. That is form tackle in the middle of that defense,
That's
Jeff.
the way you swarm to the ball right there.
Sherrod Ruff with back-to-back plays. A 3-year letter winner for this Golden Eagle club. He's from Coffeyville Community College. Played in his first 4 ball games a year ago. Had 11 tackles for loss as a junior. So Ponder in the gun. Not a lot of offense to speak of thus far for Jackson State. The Southern Miss defense really trying to pick up where they left off a year ago. Boy, look at this play as the handoff goes to Jordan Johnson. That was Scrimshire in the middle of the hole. Paxton Scrimshire high hopes for him as well. A junior,
make it back to
two-year
the
letter
line of
winner out of
scrimmage?
Athens, Alabama. He made a wonderful stop.
I was trying to see, did he make it back to the line of scrimmage?
He did, yeah, right down the 3rd down and 10. Our apologies to you, our viewers. Jeff and I are having communications issues. We actually cannot hear each other, so when the crowd noise level comes up, we actually cannot hear each other in the booth. So if you hear us talking over each other, that explains why. Ponder with the pass way out, going to wind up short of his intended wide receiver. That was Carl Ollie, the intended wide receiver, and the nice coverage applied for Southern Miss. That was Rayshawn Mitchell out on the far side of the field, and another 3rd down conversion stop for this defense for Southern Miss, and Jacquemin going to have to punt it away to the dangerous Quez Watkins.
Yes, he's already had one good return, so we want to see what he's going to do on this with this return.
So Jacquemin
Quez Watkins back to
averaged
the loading
41.8 yards a punt a year ago. The only mistake Watkins has made is he misplayed a bounce earlier off the foot of Jacquemin. Other than that, boy, Watkins has put on a show. He'll call for the fair catch at the 30-yard line. And we'll keep it here, 17-0 Southern Miss. And Jeff, if you're Jay Hobson and his crew, you've got to be awfully happy with the start for your football team, and even more so the start for some of the new guys that frankly they just didn't have a whole lot of answers, being mainly at the quarterback position, but Abraham has certainly given them all the answers so far in this one.
You're exactly right. You have to be happy with the type of job that Abraham has put together right now. And also with the defense, but Jackson State, they're going to have to do something. Getting ready to go in before half, they're going to have to put some points on the board.
11:54 here in the second quarter. Abraham going to change the play. He'll get the protection from the true freshman center, Trace Clopton. Abraham swings it out. This is going to be caught. This is 13. Neil McLaurin, and a wonderful job after the catch, getting it out to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 13 for Southern Miss to move the sticks.
Yeah, Home made a bad angle on that tackle when he missed it. Bad angle.
So McLaurin,
even though he was fighting off of a block.
So McLaurin was able to move the sticks. Abraham calling for it. He'll leave it here in the belly for Southern Miss, fighting for yards. That's T-Rod Daniels, and he's going to only pick up 2. There has not been a lot in the rushing game for Southern Miss, just 37 yards rushing so far. But you look at it, they've had 128 yards of passing through the air, and that'll make Shannon Dawson happy with that, but he does want this offense to be balanced. He said so earlier this week. An empty formation for Southern Miss. Abraham swings it out here, out in front of T-Rod Daniels. That might be the worst pass Abraham's thrown all night on the swing pass to his running back. It'll set up a 3rd down.
Pass it into T-Rod Daniels.
So 3rd down and 8. Wonderful crowd on hand for these two in-state foes. Jackson State resides some 89 miles north of Hattiesburg up Highway 49. So Abraham in the gun here. Going to reset things. Clopton actually changed the protection, seeing the blitz. He's going to throw it out as Abraham to Watkins, and he's got it. Boy, those two are having a night to start.
They connected. And that moves the chain.
Yeah, that's Watkins' 6th reception of the night for about 92 yards. He's already got a pair of touchdowns. And you see Abraham here, Jeff, just a wonderful throw to the far side of the field, right on the time on the break of Watkins. And here's penetration and a stop in the backfield, getting that penetration for Jackson State. That was 10, Malik Hamner, the senior out of Tuscaloosa, kind of knocking down Tez Parks, who just kind of ran right into the penetration. A loss of 4 on the play. This Jackson State defense, they like their front 4. They use a 3-3 stack, but they'll bring that rover backer, if you will, down to play on that rush in at times. Here's a handoff to Parks on 2nd down and 14. And the football came loose, but we'll see if the official crew, and they do, they're going to say his forward momentum was stopped, Jeff.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah, so our head referee, Joe Learing, telling us his forward progress was stopped. much to the dismay of Tony Hughes on that Jackson State sideline. Hughes, an interesting note, right? He's got ties to this Hattiesburg community all over the place. Played here at Southern Miss, coached here at Southern Miss in 2008. But did you know that he was the Hattiesburg High offensive coordinator from 1988 to 1991 before enlisting into the Marine Corps? And a timeout here. That's going to be the last timeout for Southern Miss. 3rd down and 14, and this coaching staff, Shannon Dawson, wanting to talk with his quarterback in this offensive unit. While we have a moment, I do want to point out something, a special decal on the back of the helmet for Southern Miss this year. They are honoring Owen Bowen, who spent an awful lot of time here within the football program. Everybody knew OB. He had a responsibility, did Owen Bowen, of getting out at practice, and so they have a decal honoring Owen Bowen with the air horn emblem on the back of the helmet for Southern Miss. So 17-0 Southern Miss leading Jackson State. We'll be back with more Conference USA football action as you're watching Southern Miss football in Jackson State on ESPN. And welcome back to M.M. Roberts Stadium, better known as The Rock, here on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi. While we were away, an offensive penalty for Southern Miss. I believe their first penalty of the football game for Southern Miss. That was Ty Pollard called for the false start, which is going to move a 3rd down and 14 now to a 3rd down and 19. This is really the first 3rd down and long we've seen facing this Golden Eagle offense, who really right now, Jeff, has not been slowed down in this football game at all.
Yes, they haven't been slowed down at all, so it's going to be something to see what's going to happen right here. This will give Jackson State an opportunity to make a play.
So Abraham looking to go deep. He's going to throw it up top for Adams, who can't come down with the football. Coverage applied for Jackson State by Ryan Theard, the junior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, Lutcher High School. And that will bring on the punting unit. That's the first stop for the Jackson State defense tonight. And that will set up the punter for Southern Miss, Zach Everett, who returns from a year ago, a red-shirted sophomore. He made the Conference USA all-freshman team, averaged 40.6 yards a punt.
On that play, Adam actually had to become the defender on that play.
Back deep to receive this punt and calling for the fair catch for Jackson State. That was 25 for Jackson State. That was Warren Newman, the wide receiver out of Edna Carr High School out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He makes the fair catch at the 12-yard line. The new rule does not apply, by the way, this year in college football to punts. Only on kickoffs can you get that advancement up to the 25-yard line, as it counts as a touchback when they fair catch it. So we'll see what Derek Ponder can do. The sophomore out of Bells, Texas. His defense is giving him the football for the first time off a stop and not a Southern Miss score. So 1st down and 10 for Jackson State at their 12. You're watching live in the Hattiesburg, Mississippi, here on the campus of Southern Miss, and a wonderful hit. That was Scrimshire, who knocked down the receiver Kobe Gates.
Nice
and boy,
hit.
Scrimshire.
Nice hit by Scrimshire.
Yeah, they've got a lot to talk about with Paxton Scrimshire. He's a red-shirted junior, played in all 13 games a year ago, and watch this hit on Gates from Scrimshire. Boy, that was form tackle, Jeff.
Great form tackle.
So 2nd down and 10, no gain on that Gates reception. And here is into the belly of Jordan Johnson. Johnson fighting for yardage. It's going to be a host of Golden Eagles making the stop, but boy, Jordan Johnson fought for 12 yards to move the sticks for Jackson State, and he has given life to that Jackson State sideline.
4 yards on that run.
Really fighting through the tackle of Rayshawn Mitchell, the cornerback for Southern Miss. So Ponder with Johnson to his right. Takes the snap, going to throw it downfield. Mitchell with the coverage, and it's going to be, well, it was caught, but out of bounds is the rule. But a penalty flag going to come in, and I believe they're going to give Mitchell for pass interference. We'll wait to hear the official call. But I don't know that Mitchell ever got his head back around, which is probably the reason for the penalty. And that is what they say. Yeah, pass interference on Mitchell. He had nice coverage, but they're going to call it every time nowadays in the game of football without your head around, looking for the football with that much contact. So penalty on the defense. 15-yard penalty brings the football out to the 39. This is Harper with the carry and a nice tackle made by Southern Miss. That was 26 flying in there for Southern Miss. Jeremy Saintster, the middle linebacker out of Louisville, Mississippi.
Tackle made by number 12, DQ Thomas.
So second down and 9.
80 yard, it's second and 9.
Not a lot of offense to speak of for Jackson State. Not a lot of plays. This is just their 15th play in this first half. Southern Miss had a 16-play drive earlier. A shot downfield here, and it is overthrown. Going step for step with the coverage that time for Southern Miss. That was number 12. That was DQ Thomas.
Looked like their feet got tangled on that play. The crowd was looking, Jackson State crowd was looking for a pass interference.
Ponder showing off his arm. He was looking for his top wideout, Jordan Williams, the senior out of Memphis, Tennessee. And yeah, that's exactly what happened, Jeff, as you saw on replay. Thomas and Williams just tangled up going downfield. And once again, a third down opportunity. Jackson State is 0 for 3 on third down conversions in this first half. And a timeout. Yeah, it's going to be charged to Jackson State. Tony Hughes and company wanted to talk about this situation on a 3rd and 9. So 7:24 to play in the second quarter. It's been all Southern Miss, 17-0. They lead it from the Rock. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN.
El Nino? Meat sweats?
Aliens.
That's the one, okay?
And here to comment is no one because of the alien invasion. In unrelated news, ESPN is giving fans with the best excuses for ditching work free tickets to a day game. And there's nobody here with me.
The college football playoff is coming. And from your game face to your game day rituals, everything you do matters.
No pressure.
Jets Lions at 7:10 and Rams Raiders at 10:15, September 10th on ESPN.
If I have my DVDs and I figure out that I can get every single 30 for 30 documentary on my phone now because I have ESPN Plus, I'm trying a little feng shui. I'm trying to clean up the house. I'm trying to give more space for some of my other collections. I don't need these anymore. Other people, they still need them. They're threatened by technology. I understand that. I'm not. I embrace technology.
Tomorrow, as Rafa and Sloane fight to defend their titles, Serena, Del Potro, and Isner also keep their eyes on U.S. Open glory. The quarterfinals begin tomorrow at noon on ESPN. The U.S. Open on the ESPN app. Stream first ball to last ball. Download the ESPN app today.
Every play is for a championship.
We'll be ready. We know we got our hands full.
We're back at the Rock with a 3rd down and 9 facing Jackson State here. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. Derek Ponder, 4 of 6 passing, but for just a total of 4 yards in this football game. Ponder looking to throw, he will, out wide, and this is behind the intended wide receiver, Terrell Kennedy III. Coverage applied for Southern Miss. by DQ Thomas, who has gotten off to a great start to his 2018 football season, and another third down stop by this Southern Miss defense.
Yes, I believe Ponder was trying to do the back shoulder throw on that one, but looked like his receiver wasn't on the same page.
So it'll be Jacquemin to punt it away. And a high snap to Jacquemin, and he's going to get off a kick right at Watkins, who's going to catch it on the run back. Looking for a seam, and Watkins has got one. He's loose. He's at the 45, the 50, one man to beat. They're not going to get him. Quez Watkins with the punt return, and what a start to the 2018 season for Watkins. He's caught 2 touchdown passes, and now with the punt return has put Southern Miss on top 23-0. And watch Watkins here, Jeff. When he turns the corner, it was just a punter to beat, and there was no chance, and Watkins was taking it to the house.
That's right. There was no chance that punter was going to catch him. This young man is having a great night.
What a start to the season for Watkins. Just a sophomore for this ball club for Southern Miss. Out of Athens, Alabama. Scored 2 touchdowns all of last year. He's got 3 in the first half tonight. Parker Schonfield, the kicker for Southern Miss, to put it through. And it is 24-0 off the punt return by Quez Watkins. Officially, they're going to say an 81-yard return on the punt return for Watkins. And Jeff, as we keep it here, Watkins just having a night. We've seen the slant right on the pass by Abraham, the acrobatic catch on the 27-yard catch, and then just a wonderful punt return here as we're watching it on the replay.
Yes, I mean, great run by this guy. And gets a great block, too, also.
Yeah, he kind of set that seam up, kind of moved to his left a little bit, found the seam right there in the middle of the return, was able to turn the corner, and then he shows the speed. Watkins and Adams, those 2 guys in that wide receiving core, they're going to show you some things this year. This is a Southern Miss club that feels they're very athletic. Offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson earlier this week even said the one thing that he would say different from this unit from a year ago is better all-around team speed. He just flat out said this is a fast unit, and there you saw the speed.
Yes, you just saw how explosive Watson is.
So it's Briggs Bourgeois to kick it away, and boy, he got a leg into this one. Kennedy to third, going to just step out the back of the end zone for a touchback. And that's where Derek Ponder will take over at the 25-yard line for Jackson State. And if you're Jay Hobson, Jeff, I don't know that you could have a better start to your 2018 season than 24-0 here as we're middle way through the second quarter.
Yes, you're right. I don't even believe Jackson State haven't even crossed the 50-yard line yet. So you have to be excited as a defense to not allow that to happen. And also as an offense, scoring points, even in special teams.
Yeah, it has been a wonderful start. The Rock is alive and well tonight. A credit to this crowd as well, a wonderful crowd here to start this 2018 season. Ponder under center for the first time, and the ball is loose. It's going to be picked up by Southern Miss Xavier Marion and returned for a score. A 25-yard fumble recovery, and Marion scores to push it out to 30-0 for Southern Miss.
A big hit was delivered, and then the ball popped right into his hands.
Xavier Marion, a newcomer to this ball club, or excuse me, not a newcomer to this ball club. He's one of the veterans on this defense, a red-shirted senior, 3-year letter winner out of Richland, Mississippi, with the fumble recovery and return for the score. And I actually believe Joe Leering, our referee, is going to go out and he's going to say something to Parker Schonfield, and I'm not exactly sure what the stoppage is here. And it may be, I believe, it may be a delay of game is what the Southern Miss is going to take here it was Sean Fields' pants were above the knee. You know, that's one of the things they're watching this year in all of college football.
Yes.
They're wanting to stop these players from keeping their pants above the knee, and that's exactly what that was. Sean Field came to the sideline, and a heads-up play by Jay Hobson.
Now we have a defensive score along with a special team score. You have to be excited with your team. You have to be happy.
Yeah, Southern Miss has scored on all but one of their possessions. So Sean Field adjusts his pants. They'll set the ball down, and the point after attempt off the foot of Sean Field is up and through. 31-0 Southern Miss here with 6:55 to play in the second quarter. And for Tony Hughes' club, they've got to regroup and try to get this crowd under wraps and kind of get some momentum back to their side, because right now here at the Rock, Jeff Posey, it has been all Southern Miss.
It's been all Southern Miss right now. You know, for Jackson State, I guess you go in at halftime and just try to regroup, you know, to tell the players, hey, let's not give in. Let's not give up.
So Southern Miss, they've had a pair of throwing touchdowns out of the hand of Abraham to Quez Watkins. They've had a field goal by Sean Field. They've had a punt return by Quez Watkins of 81 yards, and now they've got a defensive score on the Xavier Marion fumble recovery and return for a score. They have done it in all facets of the game. Matter of fact, they've scored in every way possible, special teams offensively and defensively, in this football game, in this first half. That's the key, is it's only a quarter and a half of football that we've played. So Bricks Bourgeois will tee it up at the 35-yard line. And Bourgeois will boot it away. Kennedy thought about returning it, but hits the knee and opts for the touchback. And so that is where the Jackson State offense will start it back again after the fumble on the first play on their last offensive possession. It was actually their first snap under center. They had been exclusively in the shotgun prior to that. And so they'll go with Keyshawn Harper to the right of Ponder here. And the Rock is absolutely rocking here tonight to open the 2018 college football season. Ponder calls for the football and a swing pass out to Harper, and we're going to see if they rule it a lateral. I believe they're going to say it was a forward pass.
Yeah, it was a forward pass.
But a heads-up play nonetheless defensively for Southern Miss. That was DQ Thomas who decided to try to go ahead and return it. But
yes, that's what you want to do. You want to make the referee call that. You want to make the refs call that.
DQ Thomas having himself a half as well. Several tackles defensively for Southern Miss. He's had some nice coverage as well. DQ, a sophomore out of Arlington, Texas. Second down and 10. Ponder with an empty set. He's going to throw it downfield here. It is intended for Ollie and incomplete. Rayshun Mitchell with the coverage.
Ponder's pass, number 6.
A moment ago when we were headed to break, we mentioned that decal of Owen Bowen on the back of the Southern Miss helmet. And Owen Bowen was a part of this program for quite some time for Southern Miss, and what a wonderful memory he will always be. OB was always a guy that had a smile on his face every day he came to work for the Southern Miss football program. Ponder in the shotgun, looking to throw downfield, and it is incomplete. Coverage by Ty Williams, the East Mississippi Community College product. And a quick 3 and out for this Southern Miss defense, Jeff. And that's going to bring on the dangerous Quez Watkins.
Once again, get ready. You never know.
No, you do not. Watkins having a start to a half like you have not seen before. A couple of touchdown receptions, a punt return of 81 yards.
If I were Jackson State, I wouldn't punt to him.
And that's exactly what they're going to do, Jeff. Jacquemin going to angle this one away. And boy, how about this punt? He's going to get a wonderful roll. It's going to roll all the way down to the 17-yard line. It's going to be a punt, I believe, of 52 yards. Actually longer than that. That's 33 plus 25. No, it's going to be 58 yards off the foot of Jacquemin, and that might have been the smartest play Jackson State could make to keep the ball away from the dangerous Quez Watkins.
At least they flipped the field position.
So Jack Abraham, a young man who didn't know he would be the starting quarterback, was told to compete for it. Him and Quadre Griggs, a starter of a year ago, were battling in fall camp. Abraham really took control of it about a week and a half ago, according to the coaching staff. Abraham looking to go here to Adams. Adams comes back for the football. It'll be tackled down at the 22-yard line. The tackle made by Ryan Theard. Pickup of about 6 on the play for Adams. Adams played in 11 games a year ago, had 8 receptions. If I'm not mistaken, that's his 3rd catch of the night yet for 25 yards for Adams. Abraham looks to offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, who will change the play here on the Southern Miss sideline. Abraham leaves it in the belly of Tez Parks. Well, if we can say one thing, one highlight for Jackson State in this first half that they'll be pleased with has been their rushing defense. They have only allowed 35 yards of rushing offense for Southern Miss. It's been Southern Miss through the air that has really been efficient in attacking this Jackson State defense. The Tiger defense has really bowed their necks on the running game.
Yes, those defensive linemen up front, they playing well. They playing well with their hand, and they getting off blocks, making tackles, making it hard to run the ball.
Malik Hamner, Charles Anderson, Khalil Johnson, those are the gentlemen in right now. Abraham takes it here, play action pass, he'll throw it out, and this is incomplete. He was looking to go to Adams again. Nice coverage applied again by Ryan Theard, the junior out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He had an interception for this ball club a year ago. Also had 6 pass breakups a year ago, and that is the first 3 and out for Southern Miss in this first half. That'll bring out Zach Everett, who will have to punt it away. Warren Newman will be back deep to receive for Jackson State. 5:02 to play here in the second quarter, all Southern Miss. Everett gets a high hanging kick. Newman will call for it here at the 39-yard line, and that is where the Jackson State offense will take over. 4:54 to play in the second quarter, and the Southern Miss defense going to be tested again here with about a 61-yard field to work on here for Southern Miss, and rather for Jackson State. That flip of field position you alluded to earlier, it paid off for Jackson State. They improved their field possession here.
This is probably the best field position Jackson State has had throughout the game.
I believe you're absolutely correct, Jeff. I do not believe they have actually been in the Southern Miss territory yet. So Ponder in the gun. Brings a man in motion, leaves it into the belly of a new running back in for Jackson State.
Ball out.
That was Javon Brown, and the ball comes loose, and Southern Miss believes they have the football, and our umpire has indicated so. Getting off the pile for Southern Miss, that is Delman Landry getting up with a fumble recovery, the second fumble recovery of the ball game for the Southern Miss nasty bunch defense. And Jeff, just like that, the momentum back in the corner of Southern Miss.
That's right. Soon you get good field position, and then something like that happens.
And looking here, he just lost the football.
Maybe
Marion was
ripped that ball out.
Yeah, he did. I believe Marion kind of slipped in there. He was the guy who had the fumble recovery and return for a touchdown just a few moments ago. Reaches in there and rips it loose. So Southern Miss with the football off the Jackson State turnover. Second turnover of the ball game for the Tigers. Abraham in the gun, play action pass. He's going to Watkins, who's got it at the 29, and Watkins inside the 20 and will be dropped down at the 19-yard line. Boy, these two are having a night together. Abraham to Watkins. Watkins just snatches that ball out the air on the replay, Jeff, and just a wonderful job. Quick pass thrown out here. This is Tim Jones with a spin move. He's going to be all the way down to the 2-yard line. The tackle made by C.J. Holmes.
The receivers
for Jackson
are running
State.
very physical.
Yeah, you got to like how these receivers for Southern Miss run after the catch. It's 1st and goal from the 2 here for Southern Miss. They'll leave it in the belly of Parks, and there's that Jackson State run defense. The tackle made by number 40, Keontre Hampton. He's the freshman out of another football factory in Mississippi, West Point High School. Hampton with a pair of tackles in this first half. And Watkins is actually coming out of this ball game. Yes, he is. Trainer Todd McCall will check on Watkins. Checking in was Jordan Mitchell for Southern Miss. Abraham getting a call from Shannon Dawson. 9 seconds on the play clock. Southern Miss going to have to hurry here. 2nd and goal from the 3. A yard loss there and a handoff to Parks. He maybe got 1.
There again, their run defense for Jackson State.
They said when they won those 3 ball games a year ago to close out the year, 3 of their last 4, it was on their rushing defense. Southern Miss here with 3:10 to play in the 2nd quarter, trying to punch it in one more time.
Probably going to see a quick slant right here.
Bring a man in motion. Yeah, he's got Adams wide side of the field. Abraham here, play action pass, throws it to the corner, and that's caught. Yeah, dropped a dime right into the hands of Jordan Mitchell. Boy, Jack Abraham is having a night. 17 of 22 for 188 yards and 3 touchdowns is the start that Jack Abraham has had to this football season, and it is now 37-0 Southern Miss.
And we seeing that accurate passing by Abraham.
That was the scouting report on him as we attended a few practices earlier this week, Jeff, and got a chance to watch him. He really showed a touch for the football, and there you saw it. That was a difficult throw, and he threw it right over the shoulder into the hands of Mitchell. And the Sean Field point after attempt is up and true. 2:53 to play, 2nd quarter, 38-0. Southern Miss leads Jackson State. We'll be back after this timeout. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. 38-0 Southern Miss. We've actually lost communication with our control room, so we apologize for that as you see the replay back on that Jack Abraham touchdown pass to Jordan Mitchell. Coming out, this is Warren Newman, and that was a mistake. He was knocked down. That was Darian Yancey with the tackle for Southern Miss, and a big stop by Yancey. He plays that Wolf linebacker. Jeff, I would say in today's world of football, Yancey is probably what you played here for Southern Miss. You were a defensive end standout back in the late mid-90s, and Yancey reminds me, as I watch tape of you, Yancey is the guy who kind of reminds me of you, kind of floats around the football field, plays standing up, kind of bouncing around, and that's kind of been the moniker of this nasty bunch defense over the years is they kind of mix and match and have guys that can play all over the field.
Yes, that's it. And, you know, when I was here, we used to call it organized chaos.
Well, that's what it's been, all chaos to start here tonight, as Southern Miss has just gotten off to a start. Ty Williams with the coverage and tackle here as he takes away the wide receiver Romello Shoemake. He was the leading receiver a year ago for Jackson State. He's knocked out after a gain of only 1. Williams will have to come out as he lost his helmet on the tackle. Jackson State going tempo. Hal Mumme, the offensive coordinator, trying to get his offense going, and this pass is dropped in and out of the hands.
Yeah, he's going up tempo. He was in empty right then.
That was Cameron Hines, the wide receiver, who dropped that pass out of the hand of Derek Ponder. Well, it is 3rd down and 8, and this is almost an imperative 3rd down conversion. I don't think they have one tonight. No, Jackson State's 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions tonight, and a lot of that's got to do with this Southern Miss defense. Ponder looking to throw, going to lob it up into the air here, and Mitchell with beautiful coverage on the wide receiver Ramik Wallace, the junior out of Waynesboro, and that will be a 3-and-out again for this Southern Miss defense.
And Ponder got lucky right there, because one thing you don't want to do right now with 2 minutes left to go in to turn the ball over on this end.
So Jalen Adams will be back deep to receive this Jacquemin punt. We've seen Quez Watkins back there for pretty much the entire first half, but moments ago we saw Watkins walk off the field and be attended to by trainer Todd McCall. Jacquemin going to run out rugby style and get off a punt that's off the side of his foot, a shank that's going to go out of bounds. We'll see where they officially say it crossed out of bounds. Southern Miss is going to get a chance to score. They're going to have inside the 30 is where they're going to mark this football. So just a punt of about 15 yards, Jeff. And for Southern Miss right here, how you would love to go into the half with a score with only 2:08 to play in this first half.
Yes. I don't know the field goal range for our kicker right now, but hey, we already at the 30.
So Sean Field has a 51-yarder to his credit in his career. He's actually within range right now. Don't forget, Sean Field made a 46-yarder earlier in this first half. So Abraham will bring his unit back out in a 4-wide set. What a night, Abraham. 17 of 22 for 188 yards and 3 touchdowns in his Golden Eagle debut. Abraham rolls out here. This is caught. That's Jordan Mitchell, who he just completed that touchdown pass to on the last series. Mitchell's going to have enough for the sticks. That was a beautiful route by Mitchell as you see it on replay here, Jeff.
Yeah, excellent play fake by Abraham, too.
Abraham put it right on the money to Mitchell. So first down and 10, officially spotted at the 20. Receiver goes in motion for Southern Miss. Jack Abraham in the gun. He's going to swing it out. This is going to be caught. That's the Michael Harris, and Harris will be stopped for only a gain of 1. Harris, a transfer, making his Golden Eagle debut. He's out of Hines Community College. He was a track guy, a 10, 500-meter guy back in high school. Actually ran the 100, the 200, and the 400 while in high school. Second down and 9 facing the Golden Eagles here. Abraham in the gun. He'll leave it in the belly of Tez Parks. Parks makes a nice move to get around the initial defender before he's dropped down by number 13, Khalil Johnson, the junior out of Provine High School. Parks with an 8-yard run sets up third down and 2.
2 yards to go.
Abraham going to check with the offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson. This Golden Eagle offense has amassed 241 yards so far in the first half. Abraham looking to throw. He will. And it's going to be incomplete over the head. That was intended for Tim Jones. Jones might have thought he got held trying to make his break. And that will bring on Parker Schonfield, who is 1 for 1 so far on a 46-yarder back in the first half, back in the first quarter, rather. This young man made 89 consecutive PATs. He's 17, now 18 to 21 in his Golden Eagle career. This is just a 29-yard attempt. Schonfield boots it through, and it is 41-0 here with 23 seconds before the first half. And we'll take a break. We'll be back. You're watching Conference USA. So 41-0 here as Southern Miss will actually keep it here, Jeff, and talk about the way Southern Miss has just absolutely dominated this first half.
Yes, they have. They have dominated this half on both sides of the ball in the kicking game. I can't say anything bad about them. I mean, they come out real hot.
You know, for a coach in Jay Hobson, you kind of wonder where your team will be in an opening game. And offensively, we've seen what Abraham and we've seen Watkins. Maybe the downside of the first half offensively has been the running game. But then you look at the defense and the way they've played. But then I think you got to look at your special teams unit and the way they have played and asserted themselves in this first half. It's really been an overall performance for Jay Hobson that he has got to be awfully pleased with for such an early start to the season.
Yes. Overall, whole complete half.
Here is Bourgeois again, who will put a leg into it. Kennedy III, about 5 yards deep in the end zone, will just hit a knee. It will be a touchback. And so we have just 23 seconds before the half. Tony Hughes and Hal Mumme and company. Hal Mumme, not a guy that likes to take a knee often. He was kind of the inventor, if you will, of the air raid offense, really made it famous at Kentucky during the Tim Couch era, went on to Southeastern Louisiana, had success. Jackson State this winter was able to pursue him just across town. He was at Belhaven University where he was the head coach. Tony Hughes made a phone call this winter to see Mumme's interest, and he really was looking for just being an OC, just wanting to be an offensive coordinator and call plays. And of course, I think a Jackson State fan base that brought some excitement to them to have a name and a guy and an offensive mind of Hal Mumme. And I believe we're going to have a delay of game here on the Tigers. They're going to say they didn't get the snap on. But Mumme, a guy that was ahead of his time for such a while. You know, when he brought that air raid offense to Kentucky, they just brought you out into space. That air raid really was something not seen in the college level. And many teams and many programs have spurned off of it. Shannon Dawson being an example of that. Also Dana Holgerson out of West Virginia is a guy who has studied underneath Hal Mumme in the college football ranks. So after the delay of game penalty, that pushes it back to the 20. It'll be first down and 15. Ponder looking to throw. He will downfield, and this is going to be intercepted. What a play out of the backfield for Southern Miss. That is going to be Shannon Showers, the DB, making his first interception fourth career interception for Southern Miss. First career interception for Southern Miss. He had 3 in high school. My apologies. Showers on his Golden Eagle debut, and what a leaping interception that was.
Right there. He made that interception because he went to the highest point of the ball.
So first down and 10. Southern Miss can have another opportunity for another score. We'll see if Jay Hobson and company choose to just take a 41-0 lead, or do they take a shot towards the end zone. I mean, when we say it has been all Southern Miss, that is exactly what we mean. Jack Abraham quickly trying to call for it. 7 on the play clock. He'll bring Tim Jones in motion. Abraham takes it, pump fakes, looking to throw. He will. That is going to be caught for Southern Miss. Making that reception for Southern Miss was Michael Harris. And yeah, they're going to run Sean Field on. Look at this drill. 4 seconds. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. I don't know that they'll get it off.
They're going to get it off.
Yeah, that's going to be it for the first half of football. It would have been good, but they do not get it off. Probably the only mistake we've seen offensively for Southern Miss. That'll be it for our first half of football. It's 41-0 Southern Miss here from M.M. Roberts Stadium. The Rock, Jason Baker, Jeff Posey will be back with our halftime and second half action of Conference USA football on ESPN. That is the Jackson State Sonic Boom Marching Band entertaining the crowd here at M.M. Roberts Stadium, better known as The Rock, here on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi. Jason Baker and Jeff Posey with you with a 41-0 halftime score where it has been all Southern Miss. As we take a look at some first half highlights for Southern Miss, beginning on the first touchdown pass to Quez Watkins, Jeff, who just got loose on a slant.
Yes, he got loose on the slant, was able to catch the ball and make it into the end zone. Yours after the catch.
That was the first of Watkins' 2 touchdown receptions. And here's a swing pass out, a nice play here by T-Rod Daniels out of the backfield. I believe that was the move the sticks for Southern Miss and move the chains. And Abraham again off to a hot start. Here's the second touchdown reception by Watkins. This was a highlight grab to be able to get his foot down in the back of the end zone.
Look good. Acrobatic catch over 2 defenders.
And here that nasty bunch defense, that was DeMario Smith with the quarterback sack on Ponder from his 3 technique position on that Southern Miss defense.
Yes, he came around the corner with a rip over the nose tackle, over the offensive center.
And here is Quez Watkins. This was one of his punt returns. He would later have the 81-yard punt return. We'll see that here in just a moment. Another nice play by Southern Miss. This was on that fumble recovery. Jackson State recovered it, but a big hit applied for Southern Miss. And then here's Watkins, 81-yard punt return. Jeff found a seam, and he was gone.
Yeah, and he was off, and the punter was not going to catch it.
No,
And
Watkins.
he gets a block.
Yeah, he does. Watkins' third touchdown of the first half for Southern Miss. 2 receiving and 1 special teams touchdown. Then we'll see here the fumble recovery by Xavier Marion and a 25-yard return for the defensive touchdown for Southern Miss in this first half.
Yes, Marion kind of got like a layup.
He really did. And another fumble recovery here by Southern Miss. That was late in that first half, as it was Marion who actually stripped the ball loose. So he's going to have a fumble recovery and a fumble return. And then how about this throw by Abraham to Jordan Mitchell to drop that over his shoulder?
Yes, we've been saying all night how accurate this guy is, and you saw it right there on that throw.
And then the wonderful interception that was made for Southern Miss. That was the intercepted. That was DQ Thomas, I believe, who had that interception that was Shannon Showers who had that interception for Southern Miss. And there you see our first half stats. 260 total yards of offense for Southern Miss. It's only 40 total yards for Jackson State. Just 6 passing yards. How about this secondary for this nasty bunch defense, only allowing 6 total passing yards in the first half?
Yes, excellent football all the way around, from special teams to offense to defense. I mean, you have to be excited about that. And then look at that turnover, 0 turnover.
So all Southern Miss at the Rock tonight, 41-0 from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. 41-0 Southern Miss here at M.M. Roberts Stadium, the Rock, here on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi. Jason Baker, Jeff, you here for the second half. And Jeff, we're going to see that Southern Miss defense that really was dominant in the first half. Shannon Showers had the interception, his first of his Golden Eagle career. You had Xavier Marion with the fumble recovery and return for a 25-yard touchdown. We saw DeMario Smith with the sack. It was really, you saw the defensive line, the linebackers make some plays. We saw Sherrod Ruff make some plays. Defensively for Southern Miss, they got to be pleased, and we're going to see that unit back out here for the Nasty Bunch to start this second half.
Yes, and Jackson State probably going to have to throw the ball if they have any hopes of getting back into this game. And with that, though, the defense can pin their ears back and get ready to sack this guy.
So Briggs Bourgeois has it teed up at the 35. It's going to be Terrell Kennedy III back deep to receive for Jackson State. This is a returnable kick. Terrell Kennedy will have it from his 2. He's trying to knife around through a great coverage unit for Southern Miss. He's going to be knocked off his feet. Tackle made for Southern Miss. That was by number 11, Tyler Rogers, along with number 35, Arthur Fairley, the defensive back out of Hattiesburg, that's for Jackson State. Making the stop was 11 or 35 Curry Ben, and 11 for Thomas Morton, also getting down there for Southern Miss. So here we'll see Derek Ponder back out at quarterback for Jackson State. Like Jeff just alluded to, if they have any
coming already out in empty. No, they're not. They have a running back in the backfield.
Yeah, they'll put Jordan Johnson to his right. All Southern Miss tonight in Hattiesburg under the lights of the Rock. Ponder looking to throw here. Backside is picked off again. That's going to be number 19 for Southern Miss. That's Kyle Hemby, who makes the interception. 1 play, 1 turnover, the 4th turnover of the night for the Southern Miss defense.
For Jackson State, that is not how you want to start the second half. You do not want to start the second half with a turnover.
And Hemby just absolutely read the route right out of the eyes and hands.
Excellent break on the ball.
Yeah, out of Derek Ponder, and Hemby makes the INT. Boy, this secondary, their second interception of the night.
And here you're giving Jack Abraham a short field.
So Abraham will put his unit out. Going to see a lot of youngsters, I would imagine, in this second half. One of them's in now. This is 22. That's Travinsky Mosley for Southern Miss. Abraham takes it. He's going to leave it into Belly. I believe that's Mosley going off the right side. Mosley going to pick up 4 yards. They really like Mosley. They think he can be a guy that can come in and play well for this offensive unit and really add some quality minutes to already a deep, deep backfield between Tez Parks, T-Rod Daniels, now Mosley. Abraham gets the audible from Shannon Dawson. Abraham calls for it. This is Mosley again. And boy, what a stop. Boy, that's a nice play made by Jackson State's number 13. That's Khalil Johnson. That's the junior out of Jackson, Mississippi. He had 5 tackles for losses a year ago. That's his 2nd tackle for loss tonight from his defensive end position for Jackson State.
He really closed down on this. Good squeeze, made a tackle. Good play by that young man.
So 3rd down and 8. Southern Miss in the first half, 6 of 10 in 3rd down conversions for this Golden Eagle offense. Abraham moves Daniels to his left. He's going to throw a backside screen to guess who? That's Quez Watkins, and Watkins is in for the score. His 4th score of the night. He doesn't even look 100%, but he outran the defense. Just a beautiful backside play to Quez and another touchdown reception. His 3rd touchdown of the night, his 4th touchdown overall in this football game tonight.
Yes. Jackson State blitzed on there, and he threw the backside slant and for another touchdown.
That'll bring on Parker Schoenfield, who's been a busy man tonight. The preseason Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Year, puts it up and through. And on the first offensive possession, the 7th 3rd down conversion for this Golden Eagle offense. It's been all Southern Miss. They lead Jackson State 48-0. You're watching the kickoff of the 2018 college football season from The Rock. This is Conference USA football on ESPN. A 24-yard touchdown pass to Quez Watkins has pushed this score to 48-0. And how about the debut for Jack Abraham, the redshirt sophomore quarterback, making his Golden Eagle debut, 21 of 27 for 242 yards and 4 touchdowns. 3 of those 4 touchdowns have gone into the hands of Quez Watkins, who is getting off to a start as a sophomore for Southern Miss. Just what you want, as Bourgeois has booted it away, and Terrell Kennedy III will hit a knee, and a touchback for Jackson State. And it'll be the Jackson State offense that it was an offense a year ago that plagued him. This was a team in Tony Hughes' ball club that he would readily admit struggled to score. They brought in Hal Mumme. This is a new system that they're implementing. They spring implementing that air raid offense. And tonight, I think they're just running up against a Southern Miss defense that has pinned their ears back, Jeff, and known Jackson State's going to throw the football. And this Golden Eagle defense has been on the attack.
Yes, they have been on the attack. And for the Southern Miss defense, you have to be excited about a team that you know that's going to throw the ball.
So 4 wide receivers set for the Tigers as they start their 2nd offensive possession. Remember, Ponder threw an interception on his first play of the 2nd half. Here's a ball that's going to be complete to Keyshawn Harper. That pass might have been tipped and caught by Harper up to the 30. The tackle made by
Ponder got really lucky on that throw right there, that he had a receiver out there to catch the ball.
Tyler Barnes made the stop over on that far side. You're going to see a lot of new faces on that Southern Miss defense. Delvin Landry's in his nose tackle position. There's Tyler Barnes that you're seeing. He was our starting free safety tonight, the sophomore out of D'Iberville. 2nd down and 4. Ponder calls for it. Quick throw out. Rayshawn Mitchell with a nice tackle, but enough to move the sticks. The reception that time caught by Keem Young.
37-yard line. That's a Tiger first down.
Their first down of the 2nd half. That is just their 4th first down of this football game. So here's the handoff to Keyshawn Harper. Harper kind of knifes his way through the right side of that offensive line, picks up 4.
Showers needed to come more to balance on that play. He would have made it for maybe a 2-yard gain.
So Ponder, the junior college transfer, Navarro College. He's a coach's son. Handing it off here to Harper, going off the left side. That's Tyler Barnes, and Barnes didn't wrap him up. Harper trying to change fields, and he's going to turn the corner, but then a nice tackle made. That was by number 19 for Southern Miss. That's Kyle Hemby, who just had the interception a moment ago.
That shows you the speed of Southern Miss defense right there.
Yeah, when you see Harper here on the replay, so Barnes just couldn't get him on the ground. Harper decides to reverse that field, and then this is how that Southern Miss defense can attack, just like that.
Yeah. Swarming to the football.
3rd down and 5. Ponder in the gun. Ponder calls for it, looking this side, and that is going to be caught. But a beautiful tackle by Barnes and a nice reception. That was Warren Newman. Actually, Romello Shoemake, excuse me.
That was Barnes on the hit. I'm surprised that guy held on to the ball.
Yeah, look at this collision here as Shoemake, the leading receiver from a year ago, able to hang on. A hard hit applied by Barnes.
Shoemake was able to hang on to it.
Shoemake had 22 receptions last year for this ball club. Ponder here just going to have to throw it away. He was outside the tackle box, being chased that time by 17 for that Southern Miss defense. That's Delman Landry, the backup nose tackle.
Yes, great pressure from the nose.
2nd and 10 from the Golden Eagle 46-yard line.
So 2nd down and 10. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Jackson State has been in Southern Miss territory tonight, and it comes with 10:30 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Boy, how about that hit from Paxton Shrimpshire and Tyler Barnes, who combined on the tackle.
Jason, you're absolutely right, Jason. This is the first time Jackson State been across the 50.
So 3rd down and 6. Facing the Tigers. And what was a great crowd tonight, they thinned out after the performance from the Sonic Boom, the marching band from Jackson State. Ponder looking to go out here to the left side and that ball. The receiver wanted a penalty flag on the play. That was intended for number 8, Benji Parrish. Parrish thought a lot of contact. It's 4th down and 6 for Jackson State, and Tony Hughes going to opt to go for it here.
Yes, you need a sport. You need to do something to get your offense in the game. I would go for it right here too.
Kind of that in-between area where you're a little too close to punt, too far to kick. Jacquemin's career long was 49 yards. Ponder under pressure here. He's going to swing it out. This is going to be caught by Jordan Johnson, and he'll have the 1st down. Tackle made for Southern Miss. Demario Smith knocked him down.
Gains to the Golden Eagle 31-yard line for a Tiger.
So Ponder finds his running back. This is the deepest by far, Jackson State, as we just mentioned a moment ago. This is their first trip in the Golden Eagle territory. It's been a dominant performance by the Nasty Bunch tonight. Ponder takes it, swings it out to his running back Johnson again. Johnson trying to fight off the tackle, he can't. Boy, just a swarm of Golden Eagles led by number 12, DQ
And that was a good face-up play by Thomas too on that.
Well, you like what you've seen from Thomas tonight. He's been all over the field, Jeff.
Yes, we have called his name out quite a few times. Excellent right there. He gathered himself. Great job.
Yeah, you see Jordan Johnson trying to kind of fend him away with a stiff arm and couldn't. So Ponder will move a new running back into the ball game and set him out to his left. Ponder looking to go deep down the field. He's got a man that's going to be caught. That is Ramik Wallace, who makes the reception here on the near sideline. Strong throw from Ponder here to the wide side of the field. As you see on that replay, Ty Williams kind of played off on that coverage here on that near sideline, and Ponder just found his wide receiver Wallace, who steps out of bounds, moves the sticks for Jackson State. This has been their best offensive possession of the night by a long shot. They want to try to capitalize with some points here. Ponder looking to his right, will dump it off. He was intended to go to number 48. That was Quentin Brown, but he could not find him short. It falls incomplete.
Yes, might have been good that that one fell incomplete because I think he would have been a tackle for a loss.
18-yard line.
So Ponder's night tonight, 11 of 24, just 55 yards passing. Ponder has just had the Southern Miss defense in his face all night, but trying to orchestrate a great drive here for Jackson State. Ponder in trouble, spins out of the tackle, and then Wisely's going to throw this one out of bounds and away. Well, that was the athleticism you can see from Derek Ponder. The pressure for Southern Miss was being applied by Darian Yancey from that wolf position on this defense. That'll set us up with a 3rd down and 10. Yeah, you see Yancey come on the stunt,
yes.
Jeff, and kind of loop around.
Yes, Ponder seemed to be strong.
Yeah, he's able to spin out of the tackle of Yancey. So Jackson State with a 3rd and 10. Tonight they're 1 of 8 on 3rd downs. They just converted a 4th down a moment ago. Ponder here, looking to his left, going to throw it out towards the end zone. This pass is incomplete over the head of his intended target, Carl Ali. It'll bring up a 4th and 10. Tony Hughes and company, I'm sure, and Hal Mumme will keep their offense on the field and go for it here deep into Southern Miss territory. And actually see Ponder has called for a timeout. So a timeout taken by Tony Hughes. Jeff, best offensive possession tonight for Jackson State. This is something that I would think Tony Hughes would want to build off of.
Yes, great. Yeah, this is the first time they've been on the in Southern Miss territory. Great, come away here with some points.
Absolutely. 48-0 Southern Miss. We'll be back as you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. 4th down and 10 facing Jackson State here, and we're going to see Christian Jacquemin, fantastic kicker for Jackson State. He was 9 of 13 a year ago on field goals, attempting here a 35-yard attempt. Good snap and a good hold off the foot of Jacquemin here, and it is good, but we've got a stoppage of play. Our umpire might have dropped a penalty flag down. If it's not a penalty, then we have the stoppage of play on our umpire tonight, which is Stephen Marshall, who's talking to our head ref here, Joe Leering, at the moment. We're going to see, yeah, there is a penalty flag. They're going to must say there's some movement up front. Yeah, that's what we have, Jeff. That's a mistake on Jackson State's part. As that's going to push it kind of back to the 40, or well, to be a 40-yard kick here, facing Jacquemin, who just made that 35-yard attempt.
Yeah. I just noticed Jacquemin is a left-footed kicker.
So Tony Hughes, as you see, not very happy with his ball club. A mistake there on the false start. They'll back it up 5 yards. Jacquemin will try it again, and this time that might have been blocked as it's going to be missed to the right. Yeah, wow, I think somebody got a hand on it. I believe that might have been 29 for Southern Miss. Yeah, it was. That was Ernest Gunn, the defensive back, who got his hand on it, and Jackson State does not come away with points. And for Jackson State, you really hate to see that. That was a nice drive by Ponder to drive them down deep into that territory. But again, Jeff, this Golden Eagle defense bows their neck, and they're able to, again, avoid allowing any kind of points, still pitching a shutout here for Southern Miss.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. They bend but didn't break.
New quarterback in for Southern Miss. This is going to be the redshirt freshman out of Miami, Florida. This is Marcelo Rodriguez. He's also got a new running back into the ball game. This is Steven Anderson to his right, and I believe that's Travinsky Mosley to his left. Mosley in motion. Here's Anderson. Watch this guy coming to his left here. He's at the 30, 32, 35, and across the 36-yard line. Anderson, 6'2", 242, running redshirt freshman. Anderson is a converted quarterback, Jeff, that they tried to move to tight end. They said every time they got in the ball in practice at tight end, nobody could tackle him, So now they've decided to give him a run at running back, and there you see why. And here's a handoff again to Anderson straight ahead for 3 yards.
Wow.
Anderson was a quarterback as well in high school. He also played basketball out of Live Oak, Florida. Big, big things are coming for Steven Anderson. When you go to practice and you watch a guy like him in practice and you see the way he runs against this nasty bunch defense, you're going to like what you see from Steven Anderson. Travinsky Mosley in as well. He's a kid. He's kind of a shifty back. He's the cutter of the group, kind of a put his foot down, cut and go, as you'll see here. Mosley kind of taking a guy with him. That's number 40 on that defense for Jackson State. That's Keontre Hampton. We've called Hampton's name a lot. He's making his debut for Jackson State, a freshman out of West Point.
Okay, wow.
So 3rd and 3 to go. 6:50 in the third quarter tonight. Jason Baker, Jeff Posey along with you as you're looking in. 48-0 Southern Miss. Marcelo Rodriguez in. He's making his Golden Eagle debut. He's redshirted a year ago. Marcelo going to throw this out, and it's going to be intercepted off the hand of Mosley. That's Hampton, Keontre Hampton, who intercepts the football, and he'll fall down at the 38-yard line. Just a high pass intended for Mosley, and Hampton comes away with the first turnover for this Jackson State defense here tonight. And so with the change of possession, 6:28 to play in the third quarter, it's 48-0 Southern Miss. We'll be back after this. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. So we'll hold the break off here on the change of possession. Ponder back. He's going to wing this one out to 84 for Jackson State. Making that reception is Cameron Hines. So both teams getting a lot of work in now. You're seeing in a first game situation, Jeff, both coaches kind of going deep into their bench, letting some guys that maybe don't have that experience get an experience of college football and their first taste of college football action in a lopsided affair right now.
Yes, because you're going to need these guys down the road. You know, they're going to have to go back and regroup, but this is a chance to give them some experience.
Here's Ponder, who's trying to slip a tackle and cannot. He's going to be tackled down right at the line of scrimmage by Ladarius Harris. Harris, the starting nose tackle, a senior out of Pinson, Alabama. Played in 13 games a year ago. He was a Conference USA honorable mention selection a year ago for this Golden Eagle defense. And this nasty bunch defense trying to get off the field. Jay Hobson not happy with maybe the alignment, and he will call a timeout, the first timeout of the second half here for the Golden Eagles. 5:26 to play, third quarter, 48-0. And as we allude to, Jeff, you know, these coaches, now you're inserting some guys off this bench that you want to take a look at in live action, and that's a big thing. I know you're a guy that's coaching a team right now in the high school ranks, and you know as well as I do, you can only simulate this one way, and that is to put them in a game and let them play that way.
The way you get is by doing it. So to have an opportunity here to put your guys in the game and watch what you can be working with or something that you can use later on down the road, it's a great opportunity to see that.
And Jeff, how much does maybe this defense, and I know that's early and I know we're only playing, you know, a quarter, well, 2.5 quarters now of defense, but what you've seen from this defense tonight, a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed for the Southern Miss defense. Kind of reminds you of that nasty bunch defense that there's been guys kind of standing up, mix and matching all around the field. That's what this defense is built on, is to just fly to the football and attack on defense.
That's right, swarming to the ball and being physical too. We can't rule that out.
So Ponder back in the gun. It's a 3rd down and 5 opportunity here. And we might have seen a false start. We have Joe Leering, our official tonight, our head ref, will indicate a false start on Jackson State. That's going to take it from a 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and 10. And I believe if we had an opportunity to speak to Tony Hughes, he would tell you that those are the little mistakes that he wants to see cleaned up. You know, as they head to their FCS competition next week against Tennessee State, you'll want to see some of these mistakes kind of clean themselves up.
Yeah.
Mistakes like that, you know, that take you out of a manageable 3rd down now to a 3rd and long.
Yes. being a military guy too, Marine, you know he's prided himself on discipline.
Long throw out to the wide side of the field, and Rayshawn Mitchell with a beautiful coverage. It was intended for Cameron Hines out on that far side. We've called Mitchell's name several times tonight. He's the field corner. He's the guy that plays to the wide side of the field. And normally, if you're going to put those guys out there, those are the guys that are truly on an island,
yes,
you know, with a lot of field out there. So Ponder will indicate to his offense here. They're going to go for it on 4th down. So 4th down and 10. So Ponder looking to throw down the middle of the field. It's going to be incomplete and broken up. Nice play made by number 19, Kyle Hemby, who's got an interception to his credit tonight, and now a pass breakup. It's 48-0 Southern Miss with the change of possession. We'll be back as you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. We're back at the Rock, where the Rock has been rocking tonight. 48-0 Southern Miss. New QB into the ball game, number 6, Tate Watley, a freshman out of Lakeland, Florida. We'll talk about why you're seeing Watley here in a moment. Watley pulls it out on a zone read, going to keep it himself and cross the 50, and then he's going to be knocked out of bounds. This will be a personal foul penalty. That's going to be charged against Jackson State. That was David Arrington, the defensive back, who hit him out of bounds. So Watley, so that'll add 15 to the end of this run. So in college football this year, there is a new rule that allows freshmen to play up to and through 4 total games, but without burning their red shirt. So an opportunity here by Jay Hobson to play Tate Watley in his opening game and get him some game action, but that does not mean the red shirt is not available for Tate Watley. So I think it's an excellent rule in all of college football. It'll allow some freshmen to gain some great experience and then also take a red shirt and still come back and maintain that freshman eligibility a year from now. And so that's what you'll see. Watley up to change to play. So Watley here is going to keep it himself again off the jet sweep. He'll go through that left side of the offensive line. He's going to be tackled down by number 7, Eric Bowie, and a pickup of about 7. Watley kind of showing his speed from the quarterback position. That was DeMichael Harris who went across on that jet sweep. Mosley, the running back.
2nd down, 3 yards to go.
48-0. Only score this second half was a Quez Watkins 24-yard touchdown reception. Here's Mosley. Mosley spins off a tackle, maintains his balance, and is going to fight for the first down to the 16-yard line. A beautiful run by the freshman Travinsky Mosley out of Woodlawn High School.
First down, Southern Miss.
Jeff, Mosley kind of a guy here, as you see, he's a shifty guy, makes a lot of cuts, kind of hard to bring down.
Yeah, made an excellent cut right there to gain even some more yards.
The ball is loose. It's going to be recovered by Jackson State. It's going to be recovered by number 96. That's Jamani Crane, who comes up with the recovery for Jackson State. On the exchange, you'll see that Watley, it was actually 98 for Jackson State. Our apologies.
Number 98?
Yeah, Charles Anderson. That's the start nose tackle for Jackson State, who falls on that football and gets the recovery. You see the fumble just on the exchange. Watley looked like he wanted to pull it out of Mosley's belly kind of late. Yeah. Mosley thought he was taking it, and that was the exchange, and you'll get that from 2 freshmen. But that's the experience of getting them the opportunity to play. That way you can simulate that and get them to work through that, Jeff,
yeah,
correct?
It's very hard to simulate it in practice, so getting the opportunity to see that here.
And I believe we've got a new quarterback in for Jackson State. Yeah, that's Jared Hayes. He's the guy who battled Ponder in all of fall camp. He's going to leave it in the belly of his running back. That was Keyshawn Harper. Yeah, that's Harper with the carry right into the middle of that offensive line for Jackson State. Well, Hayes is a guy who tonight was the only quarterback listed for both teams who had taken a snap of Division I football coming in here tonight. Hayes was a guy 11 of 17 a year ago for 50 yards passing. But how about this as an athlete? He had an interception as a defensive back for Jackson State a year ago. And so he was a guy who came in with the most experience at a quarterback position on either club tonight between Southern Miss and Jackson State. He's the guy who battled Ponder. We were told earlier today that Ponder would be the starting quarterback for Jackson State. But from what the reports out of that Jackson State program and out of that fall camp was Hayes was right there, step for step in each scrimmage, kind of pushing Ponder along. And so there we see Hayes, and we see that athletic ability from him. And I see that Ponder also came back in as we're looking on the screen, Hal Mumme talking with that offensive unit for Jackson State. And then again, how about Tim Billings, the defensive coordinator, along with Derek Nicholson, actually share the co-defensive coordinator titles. This defense tonight for Southern Miss, they have just been all over the field, sideline to sideline, to Jeff making plays.
Yes, just like the Nasty Bunch is known for, all over the field, making plays, getting the ball out, causing turnovers.
So Jared Hayes in. He's a senior out of Central Louisiana. Hayes will leave it in the belly of Harper. Harper chopped down. That was a tackle made by number 39, Wydell Flott. So a lot of youngsters in for that Southern Miss defense. Jay Hobson going deep into his bench for this defensive unit, getting a lot of experience out there. And here's Harper.
Right
Harper with a seam, and look at him run. He's across the 45, the 50. He's trying to make a move here inside the 35, and he's finally going to be ridden down and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Finally forced out for Southern Miss by number 1, Xavier Marion. And Jeff, look at this cut by Harper here, and you could drive a truck through that hole. Yeah, Harper kind of got stumbled up there and allowed Marion to make the tackle. So Jackson State once again back into Southern Miss territory. Hayes will take it and leave it in the belly of Quentin Brown, the running back off the right side. Evans there on the stop for Southern Miss.
Number 34, Tyree Evans with the tackle.
So Hayes looks to Hal Mumme over on that Jackson State sideline. Kind of interesting. You don't see a lot of offensive coordinators anymore on the sideline. Both teams tonight had their OCs on the sideline calling plays. Hayes going to throw this one out. The big hit applied over there. That was 35 for Southern Miss. That's Curry Ben, the freshman out of New Orleans, Louisiana. They like what they've seen from Curry. And watch this here as Hayes throws it out here, and that is
he read that all. He read that all the way.
So the pass complete for 4 yards for Jackson State. And Hayes has come in and marched the Tigers down the field nice, led by that big run by Harper and a pass thrown out and caught. That's by 81, Keen Young, the sophomore out of Bellsville, Illinois. He's an Althoff Catholic high school product.
21-yard line. That's a Tiger first down.
Young, 6'1", 210 sophomore. And Hayes has come in 3 for 3 in the passing game for Jackson State from that quarterback position. Again, we just said a moment ago, Hayes is the only guy for both ball clubs who had Division I experience as a quarterback. Here he completes a pass out to Young again, who was tripped up by 25, Tyler Barnes.
Tackled by number 25, Tyler Barnes.
Well, the rock empty now, but that wasn't the case earlier. 29,176 saw this contest and saw a Golden Eagle team that has jumped all over Jackson State. Here's Keyshawn Harper carrying it to the left side, and the football popped loose. It was stripped loose over there by Curry Ben again, coming up from his cornerback position, but it falls out of bounds after a gain by Harper down to the 9-yard line. It'll set up 2nd and goal from the 9.
Jackson State got real lucky right there. That ball rolled out of bounds.
So just 24 seconds is all that remain in this third quarter tonight. Jared Hayes in for his first series as quarterback of the 2018 season. He was a quarterback for the Tigers a year ago. He's going to throw this out, and this pass is going to be caught. Yeah, that's going to be caught by number 9. That's Kobe Gates, who has put Jackson State on the board with a 9-yard touchdown reception. A beautiful throw, Jeff, by Jared Hayes on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, he threw it out there toward the pylon, toward the end zone. Great play, great catch.
Kobe Gates, a Copiah Lincoln Community College transferee, and there you see the Hayes pass to Gates, and the score for Jackson State now made it 48-6 with Jacquemin coming on to attempt the PAT. He was 13 of 14 a year ago. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is up and through. Off the foot of Jacquemin. Jackson State's on the board on a 9-yard touchdown pass to Kobe Gates. 48-7. Southern Miss leads it. You'll be back after this timeout as you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. The 9-yard touchdown pass to Kobe Gates has put Jackson State on the board. 48-7 Southern Miss. A onside kick attempt, kind of a pooch kick, has gone up into the air and taken by Steven Anderson, who will catch it and take it out to the 44-yard line on that kick return unit. That's not the guy you want to kick it to, I assure you of that. 48-7 all Southern Miss, but Jeff, we'd be remiss. We got to talk about that last drive for Jackson State. And credit to Jared Hayes, who comes in and marches this offense down the field, aided by the big run by Harper, and then a nice touchdown pass to Kobe Gates.
Yeah, very nice. You know, they need to take something positive away from this game. And the way to get your second-string quarterback, perhaps you never know, but getting him down there and scoring, that's a great move.
So it is Marcelo Rodriguez back in. They'll alternate possessions throughout this fourth quarter at quarterback, while he and Watley. Rodriguez in. He's got Anderson to his right. Quick throw out here to Mitchell that is caught. Mitchell trying to slip a tackle, cannot. The tackle going to be made by 37. That's David Arrington. Came up to make the stop for Jackson State. Rodriguez, a guy out of Miami, Florida, which he was down in Dade County. And if you know anything about Dade County, it is a high school football factory down there. And this young man was a all-star of Dade County, an all-selection of Dade County. Actually played in an all-star game. They take kids from Dade County and play them in high school football. And so that's Marcelo Rodriguez, who hands it off. That's Anderson again, another Florida product, a Live Oak, Florida product. And Anderson just lowers that hat. And he's a guy 6'2", 242 in every bit of it.
It was a great run by him. After contact, he got about, 3 more yards?
Yeah, he did after contact. Going to give up a short third down opportunity for Southern Miss, who tonight has been really good on third down conversions. They are 7 of 12 on third down conversions. Rodriguez is going to wing this out. This is caught. That's Chris Reed, the young man out of Tallahassee, Florida. He's a sophomore as well. Played in 10 games a year ago.
Chris Reed.
Tell you, at my time with this Southern Miss team at practice this week, Reed's a guy that is going to show a lot of potential, and I think he's a guy that will become a big-time playmaker for this Golden Eagle offense as this season kind of develops. So some movement around. You would expect that with this younger bunch, kind of some confusion offensively on formation, and Rodriguez wants to take a timeout. Yeah, Marcelo going to call a timeout here with 12:57 in the fourth quarter. They just didn't seem like they could get right with the formation, and Rodriguez checked to the sideline to his offensive coordinator and quickly called timeout. So we're going to have a 4th and short for Southern Miss. 48-7 when we return as you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. Handoff to Anderson on the 4th down and short, and this is what he'll add to this offense. All 242 pounds of him bangs his way forward for 4 yards. Down to the 43-yard line goes Steven Anderson. And Jeff, he's just a completely different type back than what they have with everybody else. When you think about Parks and T-Rod Daniels and Mosley, Anderson is going to be the thumper at 6'2", 242.
He's going to get those hard, short yardage for you.
And look at him here following these blocks
Wow,
and just running
look how
through
you pushing
tackles.
that pile.
Absolutely, all the way down to the 35-yard line. Yeah, it's such an interesting story. So he was signed as a quarterback. And then when he got here, they just didn't feel he really developed into the quarterback offensively that they wanted him to be. They said he was a fine quarterback, but just what fits in Dawson's offense. So they asked him to move to tight end, and that's what he did. And they said at practice, when they would throw it to him, nobody could tackle him. Here's a throw out to Chris Reed. Reed's going to move the first down marker as Reed gets tackled down inside the 30. They said also they would kick it to him on a kickoff return, and nobody could tackle him. And at that point, they began a discussion, would he move the running back?
Yeah.
And he said absolutely. And you love to hear a story like that from a kid being a team player. And now I think he's got a future at running back, certainly.
I think so, too.
We're going to have a false start here. That's going to be Paul Gaynor Jr.
And that says a lot about the kid, to be converted from a running back to a tight end.
It does.
From a quarterback to a tight end, and from a tight end to a running back.
And Jeff, the interesting part that Shannon Dawson said is in the whole process, Stephen's not complained one time.
Wow.
He's just simply said, yes, sir, if that's what you need me to do, that's what I'll do. And, as just a redshirt freshman as well, to show that kind of maturity, Stephen's got a bright future in this Golden Eagle program, and I really think the future is going to be a lot of it right now. I think you'll see a lot of Stephen Anderson throughout this 2018 season. Marcelo Rodriguez here going to keep it himself, turn the corner, and slide down. And, boy, that's going to be a targeting penalty. That's number 7 for Jackson State. That's going to be Eric Bowie, and we may have –
the frustration is starting to show a little bit.
It is, and he takes the shot as Rodriguez had clearly slid down. It was going to be a pickup for Rodriguez of about 10 on the play after the false start. Yeah, so the targeting is the call. But we don't see. Well, they can do the now ejection on the intended helmet-to-helmet contact. We did not get that indication. So Bowie will get to stay in the football game. And Rodriguez, hopefully okay. He's up and standing up upright, and that's what you want to. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see any of these youngsters get hurt late in these ball games. Just play this game clean throughout and get out of here with a W if you're Southern Miss. Southern Miss trying to go to 3-0 all time against Jackson State. The last time these two teams met, it was Southern Miss by a score of 55-7. It was dubbed the Rumble at the Rock. That was, 16 years ago in a day from today, actually, back on August the 31st, 2002. So Southern Miss actually staring that exact score again in the face here as they're up 48-7. And here's Joe Leering with another call.
One on the field is overturned. It'll be second down at 24.5. Number 7 is not disqualified.
Well, I'm not sure. And so they've just moved the football back to the 25-yard line. So no penalty. They're going to take the penalty away.
Oh, they waived it off.
Wow.
Ball back to the 24-yard line.
So a break there for Jackson State. It'll set up 2nd and 5. So they take the penalty off the field. Rodriguez will stand in at his quarterback position. He's going to leave it, he'll keep it himself this time on the zone read, and he's going to be tackled down. Nice open field tackle made by number 12. That is Kevin Berthy, the defensive back, coming up to make the stop for Jackson State.
Yeah, he made a nice open field tackle out there.
And this is what you want to see. So Rodriguez chose to keep it himself, and then Berthy out in space. That's what John Hendrick, the defensive coordinator for Jackson State, those are plays that you can build off of with this defensive unit.
And one thing about Jackson State, they continue to play hard.
They do. That's a symbol of their head coach, Tony Hughes. Hughes coached here in 2008 underneath Larry Fedora. He was the secondary coach for Larry Fedora. Rodriguez going up top for Jordan Mitchell, and this pass is going to be intercepted. Yeah, it's going to be caught for Jackson State. That's going to be number 11, Tyler Rogers, making the interception for Jackson State. And so Rodriguez just a little too much air underneath it for Southern Miss, and a nice play by Rogers to come over, read the play, Jeff, as we see right here, coming right into your living room, and makes the catch right there in the front of the interception, or the interception in the front of that end zone.
Good, and Rogers went to the highest point to make that interception. And that's what you want to teach your cornerbacks. Go to the highest point.
48-7 the score here tonight. It's been all Southern Miss, but it was really Southern Miss in the first half. Just got off to just a fantastic start. You had a couple of touchdown passes to Quez Watkins. You had the field goal by Sean Field back to start the second quarter. And then in my opinion, Jeff, where this game was busted open was on that 81-yard punt return by Quez Watkins. So 48-7. Southern Miss leads Jackson State. And when you look at it, Jeff, just a total performance really for this Southern Miss ball club. And I think that'll be the theme that they take to this locker room, is the effectiveness of the offense, the way this defense has played, and then the way the special teams have executed. That's got to be the tone Jay Hobson talks to his club.
Yes, I'm sure when they get ready to go back and watch this film, and they're going to see all three phases of the game come together like this. And this is what's going to help Southern Miss get off to a great start and also carry on into the future. And when we start conference play also, I'm sure Coach Hobson is going to have great things to say.
So Southern Miss next week will be in action. We'll actually have the call right here at M.M. Roberts Stadium. They take on the University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. It's going to be a Coach Bobby Collins reunion next week at Southern Miss. For Jackson State, they're going on to take on Tennessee State as a part of the Southern Heritage Classic. That'll be played at Liberty Bowl Stadium up in Memphis, Tennessee. And so both teams still will move on, and Southern Miss will have a non-conference foe. Jackson State will go on to take on Tennessee State. And we'll see if it's Hayes again. Jared Hayes led them down for their only points of this football game, and it is going to be Jared Hayes in at quarterback. As we mentioned earlier, I just think it's a cool statistic that Hayes is the only quarterback for either team coming into this game who had taken a snap, a Division I football. He was 11-17 as a quarterback for Jackson State a year ago. Marched a nice drive down the field, did Hayes. He was 4 for 4 for 30 yards and a touchdown pass on that scoring drive on their last offensive possession. And here he completes a pass that's to number 80. That is Robert Washington, the tight end wide receiver hybrid of this Hal Mumme offense.
And he's tackled right away.
So 9-play, 84-yard scoring drive last time out for Jackson State. Hayes here forced to drive it 80 yards as he picks up 3 on that completion. 2nd down and 7. Hayes going to leave it to his running back here. That's going to be Quentin Brown, the running back, with a gain of about 3. He's going to set up 3rd down and 4 for Jackson State. So 3rd down and 4 for Jackson State. So Hayes in the gun. He's got Brown to his left. 4 wide receivers. Tonight, this Southern Miss defense has done a good job of keeping them from converting 3rd downs. Jackson State just 3 of 12 in the 3rd down department. See if Hayes can convert here for Jackson State. Jared looking to throw. He will, and it's going to be caught and tackled down. That's the number 1 who made the catch, Jordan Williams. And, boy, he was rocked by number 37, Devin Thomas, the son of Adelius Thomas, one of your former teammates.
One of my former teammates. I know his dad had to be proud of that. And if I'm not mistaken, his dad is here watching him today. But excellent tackle.
Oh, Adelius Thomas. That looked like AD making that stop, didn't it? And that'll bring on Jacquemin to punt it away. Ty Williams will be back deep to receive this punt for Southern Miss. So Williams getting some action in the punt return department. He was a wide receiver in high school. Jacquemin going to kick a line drive right at him. This is a returnable kick from the 35. Williams kind of dancing around. He'll get across the 40 and up to the 44-yard line. So 48-7, Southern Miss here. It's been all Golden Eagles tonight 8:04 to play in the fourth quarter. And we'll come back to M.M. Roberts Stadium after this timeout as you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN. 8:04 to play tonight in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. M.M. Roberts Stadium, The Rock, on the campus of University of Southern Mississippi. Freshman QB Tate Watley out for the Golden Eagles here with Travinsky Mosley, his running back, to his left. The Michael Harris in motion, and into the belly is Mosley. Watch this guy, one move, and here he'll turn the corner, run through a tackle, and go out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Jackson State.
Wow, made one cut outside and gained some positive yards. A lot of great yards out there.
Mosley, a Shreveport, Louisiana native. Played at Woodlawn High School. And he might even be a little different version than some of these running backs. They are a deep team at running back, probably even deeper than they've shown tonight. Got some veteran guys at the top, and then you've got these guys and Mosley and Anderson that we're seeing here in this fourth quarter. Here's a swing pass out to Mosley, makes a move, across the 45, inside the 40, and finally dropped down on the stop for Jackson State. That was Darius Woods, the linebacker, getting out to make the play.
And you need those kind of backs that you can swing them out in the flat, throw the ball out there to them, make a guy miss.
6-yard gain. It's second down.
And so second down and 4 after the 6-yard swing pass to Mosley. Here's the handoff to Travinsky. Travinsky trying to get outside here, and Jackson State will turn him back. Nice tackle made by big 95. That's Montre Jones, who we've seen several times tonight, a 6'3", 245-pound defensive end.
Number 95, Montre Jones.
And I tell you, Jackson State has not stopped. Their defense has not stopped.
And I think that's a product of, in a reflection of their head coach, Tony Hughes, a guy that's going to, coach effort like that, and has just been known to have teams that play with that relentless effort as his time as head coach. It's his third season here at Jackson State. Fond memories Tony has of Hattiesburg. I joined him for his teleconference earlier this week, spoke well of the community, enjoyed his time at Southern Miss. Handoff here to Mosley, looking for some room. Travinsky going to kind of knife his way through and get up to about, or down rather, down to the 32-yard line. That'll move the sticks.
Another Southern Bone joint.
Tackle made again by Lontre Jones. And this is what you want to see from your young guys, Jeff. This is kind of what you want to see from Southern Miss. They're not necessarily just hitting home runs, but they're working methodical drives, and we've seen that from Marcelo and from Tate Watley. And this is just another example of that new rule, allowing these freshmen to play, that is just going to build programs, and I think this is just such wonderful experience for these guys.
Yes, like you said earlier, excellent rule to allow these guys to be able to play and then not, compromise their red shirt.
So Mosley off the left side. Mosley got an excellent block over there from his left tackle. That's Cameron King, another freshman out of Marshall, Texas. He and Travion Clayton, a sophomore who was redshirted back in 2017. Clayton, a 3-star rated recruit, the left guard on this offensive line. And King, the freshman, making his Golden Eagle debut. Second down and 6. Watley pulls it out the belly here, and he's going to wisely just step out of bounds, a yard shy of the stick, set up a 3rd and 1. That was a nice keep by Watley that time, and we've seen him do that a couple of times on some runs in his second half.
Yes, that was a nice read by him. And like you said earlier, you got these young guys, and they still being able to move the ball.
So 3rd down, officially they'll say it's 2. Shannon Dawson giving Tate Watley the signals from the side. A good shot there of Shannon Dawson. I think it's a cool story that he started underneath Hal Mumme, got his coaching start underneath Hal. He said his first job was to drive him around practice for a while. And Shannon Dawson and Jay Hobson need a timeout to talk with this young group. We'll keep it here. Jeff Posey, Jason Baker along with you. And Jeff, as we're looking at the conclusion of this game here in about 4 minutes and 6 seconds, just your thoughts maybe on Jackson State and then your thoughts on Southern Miss as well.
Well, with Jackson State, we'll start off with them. One thing they got to do, they got to stay positive. You know, you go back and look at this film and look at the things that they did wrong and look at the things they did right and build off the things that they did right and then correct the things they did wrong, you know. It's a positive moment right there. Hayes come in and throw a touchdown pass, which is excellent. And for Southern Miss, you know, even though you play, look, it seemed to be a perfect game, there's still some things that you can improve in.
48-7. How about the night for Quez Watkins, by the way? 8 receptions, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then, of course, he added the 81-yard touchdown on the punt return, did Quez Watkins, and he had 2 scores, 2 of the touchdown receptions in the first half, and then he had the score, the only score for Southern Miss here in the second half on that 24-yard touchdown reception. Here's a handoff to Mosley. Look at that cut. He's going to spin forward and to be knocked off his feet. Tackle made there again by number 46 for Jackson State. That was Travarius Clark, the defensive lineman, who finally knocked Mosley off his feet. But, Jeff, that's what you see from him right there.
Yes.
Well, that's actually the pass back. That was to the young man for Jackson
that's
State.
Thomas making the tackle.
Yeah, that was DQ again earlier. So here's Watley in the gun. He's got Mosley to his right. Couple of freshmen here trying to orchestrate a scoring drive for Southern Miss. Mosley fighting hard here up the middle of that offensive line. Going to pick up 5. It'll set up 2nd and 5. Lontre Jones again on the tackle for Jackson State. And those are things, we called Lontre's name 3 times, 3 tackles on this drive alone. Those are things Tony Hughes can build off of when you're giving that kind of effort in a fourth quarter, right, Jeff?
Yes, that's the kind of things you can build off of. And then with the Southern Miss running backs, you know, each back that's been in the game, yours after first contact.
Absolutely. You're 100% right about that, Jeff. Handoff here to, nope, Watley pulls it out of the belly here of Mosley. Watley going to try to take it himself, and he will. It's going to be a 15-yard touchdown run, the first of the young quarterback's career, and he'll remember that night for the rest of his life. His first collegiate touchdown, and just a wonderful job. He actually fooled us on the fake there to start and then kept it himself. We've seen him do that a couple of times already tonight. And that was a beautiful run, as we see here off that left side.
Yes, and he gets a great block out here too. Great block by his receiver downfield to give him the edge to go ahead and go in for the score.
We'll kick the extra point.
This is going to be Briggs Bourgeois in for the extra point. Bourgeois pushes this one right through the middle. And it is good. 55-7 here with 2:48 to play in the fourth quarter. Kind of a unique score. The last time these two teams played, Jeff, that was the score exactly. 55-7. And Watley, you know, as a freshman quarterback, to have the presence right to give that zone read and to know when to pull it, know when to give it, and that time just a beautiful read again by Watley.
You're exactly right. And that's tough on the defense. It's tough to read that, especially when they're carrying out great ball fakes too. Only thing I can see there is the defensive player has to just, hey, guess.
That's right. Yeah, and you know, the unique thing for this Southern Miss club, right, is I think it's a club with a great mix. Especially if Abraham's going to play to the level in which he started this game tonight. They've got some veteran guys that are going to kind of be leaders for this ball club, offensively, defensively. But then they put the talent on exhibit tonight. You've seen Quez Watkins, a sophomore, exhibit that talent. And then alluding to this drive right here, a freshman Watley being led by a freshman blocker in Cameron King. He went right off that left tackle in Cameron King. Mosley was the running back on that drive as well. He's a freshman. A lot of youth on this Southern Miss team, but it's a lot of talented youth. Jay Hobson really hitting the road hard and building a team and building this program back to compete at a Conference USA championship type level. And they make no bones about it, Jeff. That is their goal, is to compete for a Conference USA championship. That was always the expectation of this program before, and nothing has changed, and that's what Jay Hobson will tell us.
That's right. Nothing has changed. That was the goal when I was here. And that's what Coach Hopkins is bringing
So 2:48 left in this one tonight. Touchback off the foot of Briggs Bourgeois that time on the kickoff, and it's Hayes again. Jared Hayes, the quarterback. He's relieved Ponder. Led them on a 9-play scoring drive just a moment ago. Here's a pass that is swung out and caught. This is by number 25 for Jackson State. That's Warren Newman, who makes the reception.
Pass complete to number 25, Warren Newman.
Hayes, a 6-foot, 190-pound senior, actually had an interception last year as a defensive back for this Jackson State ball club. That speaks to the athleticism of Hayes. And he battled Ponder in fall camp, and he said he battled him well, performed well in the scrimmages. They gave the edge to Ponder to give the start. Hayes will call for it here, leave it in the belly of his running back. That's actually a new running back, I believe, into this ball game
Number
for
41?
Jackson State. Yeah, that's
Josh
41.
Little
That's
carries
Josh
35-yard
Little,
gain.
the Picayune, Mississippi native, getting a carry. That's the 4th running back we've seen tonight touch it for Jackson State. Yeah, does a 3rd down and 5 for the Tigers at Jackson State. Jared Hayes looking to throw for the 1st down. Under pressure here, he's going to drop it off to Little, and it is broken up. That was by 37.
There
That's
we go.
Devin
That's
Thomas.
Devin Thomas.
You don't know, that's Adelius Thomas, one of the all-time greats on the defense for the Nasty Bunch. That is his product, if you will. That's Devin Thomas breaking that pass up, as you see here, intended for Josh Little. Hayes had some time, just kind of floated it to Little, and then Thomas applies the big hit, Jeff, to break it up.
Actually, Adelius is on the sideline.
I wish he was in the pads in the sideline. That would be unique and fun to watch here tonight for Southern Miss. Jacquemin will punt it away. Left-footed punter. This is Williams who has caught it. Got a little seam.
Wow.
He's across the 50-45, and he's going to be tackled down at the 35-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle made
We do have
by
a flag on the
Jackson
play.
State. That was Ramon Ward making the tackle, and we do have, like Jeff alluded to, a penalty flag down on the play. 55-7. We've got holding on the return, so that'll negate the Ty Williams punt return by 10 yards. They like Williams. He's a physical corner. He actually got the start tonight as the boundary corner for this Golden Eagle defense. They felt like before he went to junior college, and Jay Hobson actually said this in his weekly press conference this week, that he felt Ty Williams was the best corner in the state coming out of high school before he attended East Mississippi Community College. And we've seen that tonight. We've seen Ty be physical in this boundary corner. And there you see his speed. He was a wide receiver at high school. New quarterback in this time, Carter Hankins, who primarily is the holder for Southern Miss. Carter going to get an opportunity to lead this offense. He's going to leave it into the belly of a new running back for Southern Miss. That's Andre Hale II with the carry, up for 2 yards.
Number 31, Andre Hale II, the ball carrier.
And Southern Miss going to try to get this victory just into the books here.
2nd down.
Under a minute and 15 seconds to play tonight before a crowd of 29,176 here at The Rock. Saw their Golden Eagle offense get off to just a racing start.
Wow.
And here's Hale II with a nice cut. He's loose off that left side. He's going to be tackled down at the 21-yard line. A tackle by Rashad Jenkins. He might have saved a touchdown.
Yes, he did. He saved a touchdown. Great cut.
So Hale, a redshirt sophomore out of Orlando, Florida, Lake Nona High School. Southern Miss has done well in the Sunshine State recruiting. A lot of Florida talent on this club that has been present. Here's Andre here trying to get it up the middle. Tackle made by number 26. That is Quadarion Barnett, the linebacker.
Gain of 2 on the play.
Backup middle linebacker for this Jackson State defense. They're actually going to get Barnett out of the game.
And I'm going to say it again. Contact made, 2 more yards after contact.
It's really been the theme of the night, the running after first contact, even from the wide receivers tonight. You know, they're running after catches. I think about Watkins' first touchdown reception on that slant. He had contact made as he caught the ball, was able to shed the contact and run in. And that just shows effort, in my opinion, Jeff, that this team, the Southern Miss Golden Eagle team, showing that athleticism to shed those tacklers off and get it into the end zone or give extra effort. As Barnett was walking off, he actually laid down while in the field of play to get the injury timeout. That's why we're at a stoppage of play. We hope that he's okay. He's a young man they're going to count on. He made some plays tonight with Darian Barnett. Or actually, excuse me, that's Travarius Clark in there that was injured. But Darian was 26. So Clark gets up and walks off underneath his own power. Second down and 8.
And you're glad to see that. You're glad to see them able to walk off on his own will.
So a new quarterback in for Southern Miss. Boy, Jay Hobson emptying the bench tonight. This is Taj Jones, who will take the snap, and that's going to sound victory as he leaves it in the belly of Hale the second. And that's going to do it tonight from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, by the final score of 55-7. What a performance by the quarterback, Jack Abraham, 21 of 27 in his debut for 242 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and the player maybe of the night for Southern Miss, Quez Watkins, 8 receptions for 138 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, and an 81-yard punt return touchdown as Tony Hughes and Jay Hobson shake hands. For Jeff Posey, I'm Jason Baker. We say so long from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where the final score is 55-7. Southern Miss takes it over Jackson State. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.